All right.
Hello.
Hello, people. Welcome to Magic Fish Radio. This evening we'll be playing a one-shot of Demon Hunters, a comedy of terrors, instead of our more usual uh, N-Wad in space. Um, I am your DM for this evening, Merc, um, and we do have some guest players who, if they would like to introduce themselves, we'll start going around.
This is where you start calling on people.
Um, well, you said something, so you first. Although you're not a guest player.
Yeah, I'm not a guest player. Okay. Hi, I'm Miss Chrysula. I'm usually running all the things. Today I'm only running half the things, and it's awesome. And I'm playing Kathy Blexbrett today. She is the accidental cantor of Cthulhu. She learned the hard way that while you can set a whole lot of Emily Dickinson songs to the Yellow Rose of Texas, you should not do that to the Necronomicon, even if you think it's fictional at the time. So, yeah, this is fun, but most people can't see it, but it is always there, and she knows it's there now, and you just sort of accept it. So yeah.
Can we see it?
Depends on how high your Mystic Arts is. I would say 8 or better, and you can see it. Otherwise, you have to wait until she does weird tentacle magic. And this is Grover, her pet Shoggoth.
Hi, Grover. Okay. Uh, I'll go next if you guys don't mind. My name is Elijah. I'm new here into the system. I'm playing Vasily. He's an inquisitive, wary truth seeker. He's new to the Demon Hunters, but his friend was a part of them for a long time, and then his friend died in line of duty and got put on the wall. And every few months or so, he would go to the wall to visit his friend, and then he noticed one day that his name had been scratched off the wall, and no one will tell him why. So he joined the Demon Hunters to try and find out.
Hey. And, Sky, who are you? And who are you playing today?
I am Sky. I do a little bit of everything. I kind of live on Twitter, which is how I found out about this. And I'm playing Undead Ned, enthusiastic undead accountant, turbo dork, mathlete, and cannon fodder.
Yay!
Also, probably my favorite character from all of the Demon Hunter stuff.
And Josh.
Hi. I'm Josh. I'm a regular here. I'm playing Artie Sishmak, who's a hacker and SCA geek, who, when he showed up to his first tournament, got possessed by the spirit of King Arthur, or some other, Arthurian knight. It's King Arthur.
A loud, shouty man with a sword.
A very loud, shouty man with a sword. It's really irritating.
Speaking of fate.
So, while all our characters are not from the same chapter this evening, they will all be participating in the same adventure. We're running on Demon Hunters, a comedy of terrors, which, if you've never played it before, is a Fate Cortex mashup called Faith Core. It's good for a lot of things. We mostly use it for comedy because it is a comedy of terrors. Each character has 5 aspects. I want to say five approaches and 5 disciplines at least. Some may have 6 disciplines. Each roll this evening will be with 2 polyhedral dice, an approach, and a discipline die. Characters may also add dice to their rolls by using aspects. Either their aspects, which they tap their own faith dice for, or they start with 3 faith dice. They can use tap aspects. So they can tap them in for any roll if they can justify their use by using them through an aspect, either of them or of the scene. You as chat can give them more faith dice. If they still didn't roll good enough, they do have 3 more dice they can add at the end of the roll, called demon dice. These represent temptations of power that they give into. When they roll their demon dice after they finish, however many demon dice they rolled get added to my pool as the demon master. I I start with four demon dice today, and my NPCs will use them like the main characters will use faith dice. You as chat can also add demon dice to my pool and make life more difficult for everybody around. One more thing to know about, excuse me, demon dice is that if you decide to use demon dice and you roll a 1, something bad happens immediately. Uh, uh, Also, as other purchasables we have for chat today are a player, no, an NPC drop. You can drop anybody into the game. If they are copyrighted, I may change them so that we don't get struck. But, you know, they will still, it has to essentially be the same character, just maybe painted green or something. You don't know. You can add an aspect to either the scene or the characters. This aspect will have, I believe, one free invoke on it, which is a faith dice that they can use without having to use any of their own. And would the aspect come with 3? I don't know. Chris, how'd you set it up?
What?
When people drop an aspect, will it have any free invokes on it? Via
No.
chat. No. Okay.
No.
So it'll just be an aspect, like the room is on fire, something like that.
Yeah, it will be something that the players will probably have to deal with, or can invoke with their own faith dice if they want.
Yeah.
Yes.
Remember, aspects are very aspects cut both ways. If they're helpful to the players, they're helpful to the players. If they are not helpful to the players, they can be overcome because they are suddenly obstacles. And the last thing I believe that we added to the drops for today is me doing a silly accent for one of my NPCs. You can assign accents at random, or you can force me to talk as in a certain accent for 5 minutes. If you just want to hear me try and do it. I have a wide repertoire, but I don't have an infinite one, so I will just do what I can, the ones I can to the best of my ability. And if I can't, I'll try it anyway, and you get to laugh at me. So, please don't go too nuts. And yeah, any more questions?
Just to note, we had 6 faith dice in the faith dice pool left over from the previous Demon Hunters game.
Demon dice left over.
Huh?
There were no demon dice left over.
There were no. I checked. I was confused at my notes, but I'm like, nope, there were none left. Okay. And so there's a pool. There were 6 left over, and I just bought 3 more. Because, well, I'm okay with. Well, it's up to Merc. Is that okay? Because these are accounts that are watching the stream and beefing up our numbers. So I say yes.
No, that's fine.
Well, Arcane the Sage just bought you a demon dice, so. Oh, and another one.
5 demon dice.
And it begins.
Arcane, I thought we were friends. Uh-oh.
It's up to 8 now.
All the people from my Sunday D&D group are doing something. Damn it.
10. 11.
7, 8.
Okay. Just left 11 because I don't. A real hard time keeping track of lines.
1, 2, 3,
Okay, so
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
our
Right.
characters not.
Now you've got 8 new demon dice plus 4.
Okay.
Yes, thank you, John. Thank you.
Josh has got your back.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, fellow player.
Your character's not all in the same chapter, which would normally mean they wouldn't work together, but it's a date early in the year that I've forgotten at the top of my head. But there was a office kind of thing, some sort of seminar about the latest and greatest that the R&Ds come out with. They hold it quarterly or thereabouts. So all of your chapters were there because they're providing lunch. Nobody ever passes up free food if they can avoid it, unless they can help it. So you all were there, and all were meeting, mingling, schmoozing, and completely destroying the buffet table. When someone came up behind you and tapped you on the shoulders. Um, Basically, this person was with what's one higher than Sigma? Ro, I think.
Sounds about right, going off of the alphabet.
It's all good
Yeah.
to me. It goes Omega, Psi, Chi? Chi?
Let's go with Theta. So this is guy from a Theta chapter, Theta 3. Um, and while everyone else is busy, he asked you to head down to New Orleans because they'd lost contact with one of the mad science stations down there. And it just gone completely quiet. Nobody's noticed that they stopped answering calls and stuff, and people had there was just nobody answering anymore. They'd sent down Omega 1143 to have a look, but they hadn't answered. They haven't come back either. So you all got tapped to head down to New Orleans and see what's going on. So you'd all, you're like, okay, whatever, and you all packed it up and headed down, and found to your dismay that it's 2 weeks before Mardi Gras, so the place is a wreck. So there's tourists everywhere and everything, and it's just an ungodly kind of mess. But you're there now, and you have a name and a place, and hopefully a way to get out of here pretty quickly, so you don't have to deal with all the tourists and the cops and everything that goes along with Mardi Gras in New Orleans. So you are currently walking down Canal Street. You are aiming for a small location in the Treme neighborhood, which I actually need to pull up a map of New Orleans real fast because I don't actually know where that is. We can actually look at Canal Street. Okay. Wow, that is surprisingly small for a city.
New Orleans is tiny. Are we in the French Quarter or the greater New Orleans area?
You're the greater New Orleans area. Let's just say that the location you were given was somewhere in Kenner.
Somewhere in where?
Oh God, where is? Shit, where's the map? Okay, well let's let's just open this up again. Heck, where's the map? Where's the map? Oh, please don't tell me to put the map on this thing.
It's a map. It's a map. It's a map.
So we've all met up together. Is that right?
Yes, you're all there together. No, there's no map. There's just no map. Heck.
What do we look like? I know Kathy, unless you have magical sight, looks like
a chubby white woman.
Yep.
With the backpack that occasionally extends a tentacle, but probably not so much surrounded by normals. And Ned looks like an accountant who's also maybe a zombie. What does Eli? What's your character's name again?
Vasily.
What does Vasily look like?
I didn't actually think of what he would look like. I guess I'll just say he looks like I'll say he looks like Kyle Shanahan.
Who?
Kyle Shanahan. Let me just pull up a picture for you.
Is it from a particular property that you could just say the name of?
The NFL?
Oh.
Sorry. No shame for sports fandom here, but we no.
You hit
Error
the
404.
Yeah.
I'll just Google him.
Uh
Yeah, I would have said the Giants manager, but I actually don't remember his name right now.
It's all good. By the way, I found what I
Half-Life.
was looking for on the map, and it's on North Galvez Street. Is where you're headed.
Yeah. Here, I'll in the chat. I'll.
Put it in the Discord.
Okay. Where?
And as I
I closed
recall,
Discord.
Artie is young and ambiguously brown, but I don't remember exactly what because I didn't write it down what his background was, which is very silly because I made his last name with a translation and then forgot to write it down. I'm a moron.
Yeah, I put it in the Discord.
Okay.
Okay, so he looks like a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric White dude. Got it.
Got it. Okay.
That's fine.
Also, Artie's big.
Yep. So you are all walking down Canal Street, sticking out like sore thumbs because you are not drunk. Or are you drunk? You could be drunk. We are 2 weeks before Mardi Gras, and we are already spinning up parades. They're not as big as the ones that come right before Mardi Gras, but
I've been to those parades.
Is open carry allowed in other than the French Quarter? Because I've only ever been to the French Quarter area.
no idea.
Okay.
Gonna say no.
There definitely aren't cordons between the French Quarter and not the French Quarter.
Okay, what street are we heading for again? Because I was gonna
We're
take
looking-
notes.
North Galvez Street.
Okay. Yeah, we're just. Okay, so the Mad Science Lab hangout, whatever, is on North Galvin Street.
Yes. That's where you're headed for. They stopped responding, and I mean, you would assume that that if they'd stopped responding because of Mardi Gras, then the Brotherhood wouldn't be that worried. But you know, you never know. Worth noting also that there is a permanent road chapter stationed in New Orleans, but they have been called out to the bayou to deal with swamp creatures. That's all the information you were given was swamp creatures, so they are not currently available to help.
So they call.
At least we're not the one. At least we're not the ones dealing with swamp creatures this time. I hope.
I mean, it
I don't know.
depends on what's waiting for us. Not
I
all
kinda
swamp
wanna
creatures
fight-
are that bad.
So,
I kind of want to fight an alligator, though. I'll be honest.
so while none of your characters have been to, I'm assuming that none of your characters have been to New Orleans during Mardi Gras before. It's pretty busy, and you know there's definitely a party atmosphere. But it seems like there's something on everyone's mind. You see groups of people gathered together, whispering, kind of, and like the cops are all over the place, more than you'd expect to see, even because like, I mean, yeah, it's Mardi Gras, but they're coming down on people pretty hard.
What time of year is Mardi Gras?
Spring, Fat
April.
Tuesday.
It's usually like the Sunday or the Tuesday before Lent starts,
Yeah.
or
Which
the,
is
the
the
Tuesday
before
before
Easter.
Ash Wednesday.
I don't know when those are.
Like
Yeah,
March or April.
Easter's in
Oh.
April usually, so it's March.
Yeah.
March-ish.
Yeah, it's in March. March.
So we're before that. So I mean, so we're probably like late February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
March.
Yeah, let me check something
We'll
really
have a
quickly.
couple of parades every day.
Yeah. So this is late February, early March, and
Okay. Maybe the Saints lost in the Super Bowl again, and the fans are annoyed.
there would be rioting in the streets.
Yeah.
That's
Given
why
what I
the
know
cops
of
are
sports
here.
ball.
Maybe they
Given what I know
canceled
of
the dog
sports
parade.
ball, there would be rioting. Because, you know, if white people do it, it's not riots.
Happy Juneteenth, everyone.
Happy June.
Happy Juneteenth.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it were a sports riot, the cops wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
I don't. You'd expect it to be a lot louder as opposed to quieter, maybe, than you'd expect.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, because this would be a couple weeks after they would have lost the Super Bowl, so maybe people are just being wary.
Anyone want to check with, ask someone what's going on? It's not really my thing.
Do any of us have social skills?
I do.
Okay. You wanna ask around?
Power of whiteness. I mean,
I use defeat white privilege.
Oh God,
That's a Zoe
there's.
joke. That's a Zoe reference. I swear.
How racy are we? God, how racy are? Never
Let's
mind.
just say the World of Darkness game is very, well, it's not about our modern day social injustice. It's definitely there, and we reference it a lot.
I wanted to make a joke, but it wouldn't really make much sense here.
Okay. So yeah, do you wanna? Because this seems less party drunk and more like scared commiseration drunk among like the norms, and that's weird for this place.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You still definitely see like drunken college girls having a great time.
Yeah, there's tourists, but
Yeah, there's tourists, definitely. But
Yeah.
there's also
Um.
talking.
How did we get into New Orleans, by the way?
You flew in.
Okay, so can we assume? So can we
not
say?
spraying for very good seats, but you got into the airport.
So can we say that we got like say a lift or a taxi from the airport to here?
they actually have really good mass transit. I've
Yeah.
been there.
Yeah,
we got
but
to ride on a real trolley, and it was really cute.
during Mardi Gras, things become more sporadic. So
yeah, I would not trust mass transit during a time when people are being drunk in the streets.
You probably did come in here through public transit. Taxis are kind of at a premium at this point.
Yeah. Okay. So who would I ask about something like this then? Are there any God, what are they called? The people who will like stand outside of stores and try to get you to come in
Barkers?
by giving barkers. Are there any barkers around?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I guess I'll go up to one of the barkers. I'll look for a barker who's selling like something that's not super touristy, like someone who's selling probably like say there's a barker who's selling like earplugs.
Having been to parades, like earplugs are a must. But anyway, yeah, no,
Yeah.
there's a guy. He's got earplugs, he's got earbuds, he's got AirPods. They're not on brand. And if he was found by somebody who these are the kind of AirPods that fell off the back of a truck. My friend found. No, I promise. That kind of thing. But he's got ear protection and earbuds and this kind of audio thing of all kinds.
Okay. Let me actually lay my dice out real quickly. Okay, so can I go up to him and basically first I would like ask the group, hey, I'm gonna ask that guy what's going on. You guys okay with that?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. While I'm there, do any of you want me to buy you earplugs?
No, I've got that covered, and a tentacle actually comes out of her backpack and sticks itself in her ear, and she's like, "Not now, Grover.
Oh my God!
Not now."
I've seen that hentai.
Are there any like carts with really chintzy touristy stuff?
Probably.
Oh yeah, there's this is Canal Street.
I imagine that the carts
We're
are
spinning
just.
up for tourist season here. There's so much touristy shit around.
Yeah,
I
that's
imagine
gonna
every cart is like also
non-committally
selling
say,
those
yeah,
bead
you can-
necklaces.
You take care. I've gotta go over, and then just dives into the tourist merchandise and comes out with like a day.
Get me some
shirt,
necklace. I
and a
might
foam
get me
hat.
some necklaces. I might get bored.
Beads!
okay.
More
I've got
beads!
customers if I need them.
Okay. Okay. So I'll go up to the guy selling the earplugs, and I'll say, I guess, what approach would count for this? Obviously, like social engineering discipline, but what approach would count for this?
Well, it depends. Are you being clever? Are you being sneaky? Are you
wanna
being
go over with it
flashy?
quick?
So the problem is there's no just normal approach.
Yeah, it's the same for perception checks. It's a little like, okay.
Are you being straightforward? Which is not
Yeah.
actually not that sounds forceful to me, if anything.
Yeah, but forceful is like,
Force-
tell me what's going on. Like, hey, dude, you know what's up?
Or flashy?
Yeah.
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 It depends on how much you want other people to notice you're having this conversation. If you
Yeah,
don't
which
want
I
other people to
don't.
have you noticing this, and other people notice you having this conversation, then I'd do sneaky. If you want everybody to notice you're having this conversation, do flashy. If you want everybody to notice and also for this person to be afraid of you, do forceful. If you want to be, talk this guy in circles and then leave him having no idea with what the hell he really wanted, use covert, sneaky. Especially covert ops.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, I have an idea. So I'll try doing clever social engineering to this guy, to talk to him, to try to ask him what's going on, and basically try and make him think that I'm asking what's going on to try to figure out if I need to buy myself earplugs because I'm trying to figure out how loud things will get.
That sounds like
that work?
sneaky.
Yeah.
So is it sneaky or would that be clever?
Clever also works with that one. I'll accept clever.
Okay. So I roll my clever score and my sneaky and my clever score and my social engineering score, right?
Your dice, the dice.
Yes.
Yeah.
In general, it is not a bad idea to always start with your biggest dice pool or your largest 2 dice and work backwards until something makes sense.
Okay, I don't trust my tiny desk, so I'm just gonna roll on my bed. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah. Sure. There's also the electronic dice roller now in the Discord.
Yeah. Okay, so I got 13.
Yay!
Okay,
First roll.
If you roll a 15, you get success with style.
But then you would have to roll Demondus.
No, I'm good with just a success.
Okay. So
I ask him, what's going on here? People seem like I came here. I didn't bring my earplugs. When I got to the airport, things seemed like they were going to be pretty loud. But right now, I don't know. People seem a little low key. Do you know what's up?
Well, I don't know that I particularly want to be spreading this around, but it does seem like this year might be a little quieter than usual. We've had some trouble deeper in the city. I don't think it'd come here, but people are hearing about had a rash of stranglings. They're saying probably a serial killer, but the police don't want to say that just yet because they don't want to scare any of the tourists off. But local folk are a little worried, and I don't think there'll be as many guests this year as last year. I haven't sold the thing all day. He shows you his, wares, which are definitely not, either Chinese knockoffs of AirPods or stolen shipments of AirPods and other kinds of high quality audio equipment that he's selling for prices that would definitely not, be market value if he actually bought them wholesale. Wholesale. That's what I want to say.
We're the Brotherhood of the Celestial Torch. We don't judge.
So then I would ask him, I ask him, is this a Jack the Ripper situation where he's aiming at the whores, or is he targeting someone else?
That's part of the reason why the cops don't want to say. As far as anybody can tell, there hasn't been a rhyme or reason to it. The only reason people are saying they're all connected is because they all been the same kind of dead, as it were.
And you said they've all been in the inner city?
Deeper in the city, yeah.
How deep?
Oh, pretty deep around Jackson Square, that kind of area. Bit spread out, but that's what people think the center is.
Yeah. So out of character, do we know where the lab is?
Yeah. You do. You know where the lab. The lab is in the Treme district on North Galvez Street.
Okay. Is that close to the area where the killings are happening?
Are you familiar with New Orleans?
No.
I do not know anything about New Orleans.
No idea.
I ain't been there in a long time.
They have the Superdome. That's all I got.
I've been to
I thought it was the Silverdome.
Well, Ned, that's not all you have. You also have the Dayglow Mardi Gras T-shirt. You've got beads like at least 2 pounds of beads around your neck.
Plastic fake gold crown.
You've got a plastic margarita cup. It doesn't have anything in it right now, but it could.
Okay.
You would probably fill it with mineral
You've
water.
got the neon sunglasses on. You are so kitschy.
Oh, is the crown also like the beer hat? Or whatever they call
Yes.
it? Yes. So it's got 2 tankards on either side of the crown and tubes.
And instead of beer, it's LaCroix.
You know what I also have?
I feel like if you try to drink LaCroix in New Orleans, you will be tackled.
I approve of this version of Ned.
I have Google Maps.
New Orleans people get very snooty about their sparkling water.
I have a feeling if it's at all possible,
Well-
he has a foam hand thing, and he's using it to hold his novelty drink.
There you
thing.
go. There you go.
What district did you say the killings were taking place in? Just so I could write it down.
Treme. Treme with a thing over it.
Okay, let me just open up
Pretty
a
good when you say it.
thingy. Yeah, I should have started.
Wait, no,
with my
sorry.
notes.
That's the district where the lab is. The killings appear to be centered on Jackson Square.
Okay, killings in Jackson.
Sorry, I misheard what you were asking.
No problem. You answered my other question, anyways. Okay, so we know where the killings are. We know where those things are. Can I buy your Shoggoth, Kathy? Does it have ears?
It can hear. We're just not sure how. All you know for sure is that those things look like eyes, mouths, and tentacles. Well,
At the
although
same time.
right now Grover looks like a backpack because Grover is a shapeshifter.
Can I roll clever research to try and figure out how the Shoggoth hears to see if it needs earplugs?
Do it. Do it. Do it. This I gotta see.
Okay. Let's see. And I have a
This is a warning. This is very hard.
and I have a deductive mind for my aspect, which would help me figure this kind of thing out.
If
Sure.
you want to spend a faith dice for this, we've got
A pool.
Oh, you have to spend faith dice for your aspects? Oh, no, I'm
Yes.
confusing them with stunts. Okay.
But we do have a
sure.
pool of 14 faith dice. So, and this
Sure.
sort of silliness is Dead Gentleman approved.
Yeah, I won't use a faith dice on this because first, before I try and check him, can I try to use my social engineering plus cleverness to explain to him what I'm doing so maybe he can help?
To him. Who him what?
Tell him that you know a tiny mini Shoggoth?
No, to ask your Shoggoth that I'm going to try and figure out how he hears so I can see if he needs earplugs.
I mean, you could just ask Grover. He is the backpack because he's a shapeshifter. But
Okay, so
you could just ask him. He's there. I don't know that he can speak, but he's there.
Grover has tentacles, right?
Yes. When he wants to.
Okay.
Blah.
So to try to convince him, I guess then, could I do then in that case clever social engineering on Grover to try to ask him with my phone? Can you use your tentacles to tell me if you need earplugs or not? To tell me if you have ear holes?
Can you do an interpretive dance?
I was literally just
needing
saying like
earplugs?
I mean like can you on my phone because our phones have writing things? Can you use your tentacles to type on my phone where your ears are and if you have ear holes?
Try it.
Depends on how high you roll. Welcome
Yeah.
to
Okay.
fate.
I will
Okay,
warn you,
so
it's
that-
very difficult.
So that's clever
Not for the
social
reasons you
engineering,
think.
right?
Oh, so before you do this, do you tell anybody else what you heard from the guy about what was going on with the strangler?
The guy's still here.
Okay,
Okay, we've all probably just been listening then.
and we've been listening. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, not
I
in a
didn't like
creepy
go
way.
off to talk to him or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, I forget. In this world, do the normal people know that shit happens?
No.
Or...
No, they don't.
They
Okay.
do not.
Okay, then
Part
he'll
of our
just.
whole
Okay,
thing is to keep them from
okay,
knowing.
then he'll just see a tourist talking to a backpack. I'm sure he sees weirder shit. Okay, so you're okay with it being clever social engineering, right?
Do it.
I rolled a 12.
Blah,
What's the
blah,
difficulty?
blah, 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 blah. Oh, actually, you asked him to type. Yeah. So
Yeah,
does
with the
it work,
tentacles.
Merc?
Roll. Okay, so so there are two sides to this. The first side is that the salesman does see you talking to a backpack. And I did check, and he just thinks you're drunk. Because it's Mardi Gras. You're a tourist. You know, you are so tourist, you can just tell. It shines off of you. The other part of that is, unfortunately, because he didn't notice, or at least I rolled pretty low, so he didn't notice. But you also didn't roll high enough. So what happens is,
Unless you want to roll a demon dice.
unless you want to roll a demon dice,
Because this is the dance.
Well, because Grover's our ally, isn't he?
He is an
your ally.
aspect. He's an aspect on my character sheet, which is emotional support mini Shoggoths.
do you want to roll a demon dice before this happens?
Well, because I can't. Well, because if Grover's our ally, and this is something that I'm trying to see if he needs help with, why would he be trying to make it difficult?
No, it's not about Grover's
Okay,
making it.
so-
The GM's making things difficult.
Let's just say that you can hear what happens and why, and then you can decide if you want to roll a demon dice after that. Okay? Well, I'll let you go.
Okay,
that far.
sure.
But see, what happens is you didn't roll high enough. So Grover takes your phone. You just basically just put your phone into the backpack, and tentacles emerge and start typing onto it. And when you pick it up, you try and read it. And you take a minor condition of psychic damage because this is a Doggoth from realms beyond. And what it typed wasn't English. You're not sure how your phone made those characters, and you're just trying to comprehend it. It doesn't compute. It hurts your brain in ways you didn't know your brain could be hurt. Like, you had a feeling that if you roll any lower, your eyeballs would be bleeding.
Okay, so I turn to the group and I say, can any of you read Romanian?
I can read
No.
Hungarian. I don't think whatever Kathy's backpack does, I don't think that's Hungarian.
I'm looking at it and I'm like, Grover, you know better than to write ACLO into someone's electronic device. Like, we talked about this. And you're just blah, 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 blah. And we talked about this.
So
So
somebody
I take mild psychic damage.
Blah.
take one mild condition of tried to read a Shoggoth's handwriting.
Next time you could, like, just ask his mom.
Only slightly brain blasted.
Tiny
somebody-
migraine.
If anybody else would like to try and roll R&D before the phone sprouts tentacles.
Yeah, let's see if I can fix that. So sure. I've got a spray that's an anti-mythos spray that I've been working on. So I'm gonna use. So I'm gonna pull out clever research and development.
Do it.
Okay. While Josh is doing this, I basically just given him my phone. So while he's doing that, I go back to the sales guy and I say, okay, so give me, I think, 3 pairs of earplugs.
However, I rolled a 5 on a D10 and a D8.
Oh no, it's
Wow.
spreading.
So that is not a success.
No, it is not.
So while you were holding the phone, you didn't try and read them, so it didn't do any damage to you. But the letters start moving on the screen, and like they form into what is definitely, possibly a Shoggoth on the screen.
Grover,
And
I didn't know you knew how to make gifs.
a little hair-fine tentacle, sneaks out of the seam on the side.
Vasily,
Hello.
one thing you need to know: don't attempt to play too closely with the horrible monstrosities we're helping. We're all. I,
Well, that's
Kathy,
just
you
racist.
accepted. You're
You
fine.
can't be racist like that. We're in New Orleans. Look at beaten up.
So the salesman holds out his hand and says, cash first, please.
Okay. How much cash do we have? How much cash do I have on me then?
How much cash do you have on you? This is New
Assuming
Orleans.
it's like a normal trip to New Orleans, maybe like $100 in cash and various nominations, and then like a debit card.
Okay. Yeah, this guy wants $10 in cash for three pairs of earplugs.
Okay. Can I try and haggle him down?
Sure.
I think
Okay. That would also.
Warning, he's seeing you talking to a backpack at this point.
I think Artie's taken off his coat and thrown it over the phone. so that it's not making too much of a mess if it's starting to sprout tentacles and becoming something, weird.
This is why we need to leave the eldritch horror to Kathy. This is
Well,
why
I
you have
asked
an expert.
Kathy, I asked you if he had ear holes.
I said I didn't know you could ask. I didn't know you were.
Okay, so this would be, I guess, because I don't want to roll clever social engineering for the third time, so maybe just sneaky social engineering since I'm trying to have him down.
Sure.
Okay.
It will be social engineering, though. God bless America.
It will be social engineering, yeah, which I don't mind because social engineering's 8. Where the hell did I put my dice? Oh, there they are. Okay, so 8 and 8. First roll is an 8. Second roll is a 7.
15. Okay, yeah. You haggle him down. You get down to $2 for 3 pairs of earplugs, which is pretty nice.
Cool. Okay, I take 1 pair for myself. I put those into my pocket. I put 1 into because Grover's not in the backpack. Grover is the backpack, right?
Yep.
Grover is the backpack.
Okay. So I guess I just like put them on top of the backpack, and I tell Grover, okay, hold on to these in case you need them.
And they just sort of absorb into the fake leather.
Yeah,
and you hear blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Don't swallow them. They swell up in your stomach. Trust me. And then I go over to Artie. I try and I ask him basically if I can have my phone back.
It's a little busy. I think the backpack is sort of making weird shapes, and occasionally parts of it are lifting up, but I'm holding it down to the point where it's not obvious there's any.
you basically got your in your hand like this, and it's your coat over like that, and you're holding it down. You can definitely feel tentacles are starting to feel up your hand.
Guys, do you want me to do the thing that I'm really, really good at?
Yes, Kathy.
Sure,
is this a part of Grover, or did Grover just summon a friend?
You asked someone to physically describe a
Shoggoth
in the mortal plane.
And now you're.
So he did.
You know that whole thing? There's an angel in your mind.
It?
Now there's a Shoggoth in your phone.
Well, it can't be any worse than Amazon.
True. All right. I'm going to. All right.
Ned, you doing okay?
Oh yeah.
Ned is flying all colors of the rainbow right now, and it's awesome. And Micah shift, it's awesome. So what I'm gonna do?
Somebody threw glitter on Ned at some point.
I'm going to cleverly mystic arts and use my stunt. Tentacles bind the galaxy together. Because I'm technically now a priestess of Cthulhu, I can add +2 to cleverly summon and/or command minions spawned of horrors from beyond to do my bidding.
Do it.
So I'm basically gonna just sort of bring this new technical monstrosity to heel. And
can you tell him to listen to me?
Yes, I'm okay. So you now serve Vasily as his phone, including. Oh, do we all have the, that's something I was meaning to ask earlier. We don't have a Cypher with us, which is the robot hacker guys. Do we have the sentient Cypher phone app?
You and Artie do. Ned and Vasily do not, because they were not in any chapters that have had contact with New York recently, so.
Alright.
Yeah.
All right.
I would, even if I could, I would choose not to have it.
Ooh. I rolled a 19.
Would you like to make it a 20?
No, I'm okay with the 19.
Okay, yeah. Create an advantage. So.
Yeah, I basic.
Create an advantage. Cell phone Shoggoth. With 2 free invokes on it.
I'm gonna call you Rotom.
So Kathy comes over to Artie, and you've all moved a little way off from the earplug salesman at this point.
So yeah, I've basically said I basically said like I was talking into the cell phone itself, like in Oklo or Relayan, just like all right, you Sir Vasily, if you are out of line, I will smite you. I speak with the authority of the horror of Relay. Do my bidding, and be a good cell phone boy.
Yeah, basically.
And it's so
And-
what it now it looks like instead of it is sort of stylized tentacly cell phone, but it looks almost like it's more of like an ergonomic art piece kind of cell
Oh
phone.
great!
Like
Now
it's
I
a
look
really
like I go to Hot Topic.
yeah, it's like a really cool phone case that's maybe a little slime. Is it slimy?
This is the worst
Is it-
thing that the Shoggoth could do to me.
Here.
It's not slimy, but it's that kind of smooth that snakes are that might be slimy if it got wet.
Well, okay, I won't throw my phone into the water. You said I have 2 invokes on it, right?
Yep.
2 free invokes, yep.
Mhm.
And,
Okay, cool. And I told you guys that I'm naming him Rotom, right?
Rotom. Okay.
Yeah, you know, because like in the new Pokemon games, the Pokedex has a Rotom inside of it.
Rotom, got it, yes.
Okay.
Rotom. So you all see Kathy take this, like it's a cell phone that with tentacles, and they are kind of, trying to feel the world around them a bit as Arthur hands the phone out from underneath the coat to Kathy, but she holds it to her mouth, so you can't really see what she's saying, and you can't she's talking, but your ears refuse to hear it. Like this is not a thing that can penetrate your brain. What she's saying.
These are really good earplugs.
Then they'll stop flailing, and they make this cool phone case kind of thing, and she hands the phone to Vasily.
Okay. Be nice to him, and he'll be nice to you.
One
Cool.
uncases to wave at you, and then quickly puts itself back.
Grover, what mischief hast thou wrought? Blah. Blah.
Well, hopefully
Like
that'll be
he
most
asked me to describe a show that's
I hope that's the most exciting thing that'll happen all day.
Okay, so well, I was probably like just listening to the Vasily's conversation with the hawker, and putting things in my phone, which has the sentient cipher app. Once sorry, I was cutting together fan vids of Omicron 11 dash cams again, and I'm like, all right, could you do this? And just she starts inputting, so between the cipher app and Google Maps and all that, figuring out so here's where we're supposed to go. Here's where the problem's happening. And yeah,
One neighborhood over.
Yeah. So okay. So basically, where the stranglings are happening are not down by the bayou, where the row house is fighting or dealing with swamp creatures, I assume.
Correct. The row house is up in the space between Lake Pontchartrain and Lake Bourgnay. I don't even know how to say that. It's up there on those bridges, basically. Where they're
Bridge.
We say swamp creatures. That still covers alligators.
True.
Yeah.
The report was very non-specific.
And in fact, if you draw a direct line from the Stranglings to where we're going, from the Stranglings to the Mississippi River, you get to where we're going, don't you?
What?
I said if you draw a direct line from where the reported Stranglings are to the Mississippi River, you get to where the lab is, more or less. Maybe not exactly.
The Mississippi River is...
That's the Mississippi River.
Jackson Square is right on the Mississippi River. It's right on
I'm
the...
saying Jackson's yeah. Whereas the stuff on the square runs is a little away. Where the Stranglings happen is a little away from the river. Or wait, is it Jackson Square where the Stranglings happened? Or
Jackson Square is the center of them. They are in a diameter around it, but
okay.
that seems to be the center.
So it's near. I had it reversed. And so we're going to Trem Lafitte.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a little further off from there, but it's still within the locus.
Yeah, it's within the radius of everything that's going on. Yeah, the radius for the murder seems to be about... oh god. How would you just a block? Shit.
Okay, maybe we should head for Trem Lafitte first and see
Yeah, I
what
can go
happened
with
there.
Yeah.
And then
Just to check, how many sets of bead necklaces do I have with me?
how many sets of what?
Because I asked Ned to get me some bead necklaces when he went
Oh.
shopping.
Ned, how many did you get?
Well, how many did you get from me?
Ned at some point, Ned is kind of wearing the very tourist kitschy Mardi Gras shirt, but it's open, but you still can't see his chest because it's covered in beads. Like,
know,
the cadaverous stomach of a hungry zombie, but
Ned
I'm
is
pretty sure the beads don't count if someone didn't throw them to you from one of those floats that we don't see yet.
Yeah, exactly. Ned, can I have like 5 of those? I have some ideas.
Go for it.
Thank
Ned
you.
is now the
Okay.
pride zombie. Woohoo! Well, even
Mardi
though
Gras?
it's March.
I
it's
don't
Mardi
think that's
Gras.
so
Time
5
is
sets of bead necklaces.
The Marty zombie.
Zombie Gras!
I mean, this is the bayou. Would it have to happen? It would
He's
happen
a
here.
member of the zombie crew, okay?
I just realized I didn't plan for this when I made this stunt, but I have a stunt that basically means that once per session I could use these to make whoever flash me.
I mean, if you get up onto a float, a bad idea. You could.
You don't actually have to be on the float to do that. It's like Girls Gone Wild thing. You don't really need to be somewhere specific. You just have to offer them a hat.
I don't know enough about that reference to say yay or nay.
So we go to the Mad Science Lab!
Okay.
Science lab.
Yes.
To the
Before
lab.
anything else can explode into tentacle madness.
Yeah. It's the one lab in New Orleans that isn't on the college campus or smells like meth.
Or before
That's easy
people
to
do
find.
more shopping. We don't need to do more shopping.
Ned's an accountant. He's got a budget for this.
Yep.
He's slowly becoming more chintz than Undead Man.
He's amortized his expenses. He's ready for this, man.
When in New Orleans, you know.
Hardy, I'm surprised you're fine with another guy wearing a crown.
I am not King Arthur.
Oh,
I just
oh.
don't.
Yeah, but if you're one of his knights, you'd still probably have a problem with that.
Kathy hears what's going on. Kathy hears what's going on. Well, when Vasily says that.
I just do my and just let it happen.
Because yes, that does set the knight off. Who hadn't realized what Ned was wearing was a crown.
No, you stop. We're not in the Camelot. Other people with crowns was fine then. There were plenty of other people with crowns.
True.
Not
We're
all of them were King Lot.
We're not in England right now, so
You're right. We're in a place that wants to be France, which is probably even harder for one of Arthur's knights.
Well, France and Spain, depending on how you look at it. And wow.
This must be just a hard place for you to be, huh, Artie?
It wasn't until you brought it up.
I was fine.
Want a beer?
Ancient English fragility. New trouble aspect.
You want a beer? I'm sure they have.
Anyway,
some...
I'm sure at some point there'll be a monster to fight or something, and it won't be a float. We're not going to
Or
fight
me.
any floats.
Oh, why'd you have to say that out loud, bro? Why?
I don't know. Get me drunk enough, I might fight a float.
It's not my plan for you to fight any floats, but if it happens,
Let's go to the We're going to the Mad Science
so
Lab.
you travel through.
I
Let's
assume I've
go
just been
to the
doing-
Mad Science.
Yeah, I assume I've
Let's
just
go
been
to
telling
the
Artie all
Mad
this while we've been
Science.
going to the lab.
Ned garners a surprising amount of whistles for his flashy display. Like he's got almost enough plastic on him to be afloat on his own right at this point.
The people of New Orleans are very supportive.
Sorry, what'd you say, Artie?
I said, did he manage to pick up anything that glows?
Oh yeah, totally. Like
There's a couple of pills you can take for that. Don't worry.
so, not for Ned. Ned's blood doesn't flow. So you all manage to make your way by hook and by crook. You don't manage to find a taxi, but you do end up there eventually along North Galvez Street. And it's quieter. It's not the main drag, so there are fewer tourists here. More of the shops are actually open as opposed to open but with lines down the block for toilets and drinks. So it's quieter, reasonably so anyway. And the building itself that you were told was the Mad Science Lab doesn't look that much different from the others. Like there's a local diner open on the lowest floor. It's got the neon sign, and then on the the next 2 floors appear to be, office spaces maybe, or what you were told, that's where the mad science lab is. And then you're not sure what the top floor is, but it looks like it might have been a botanical thing at one point. It did as you're starting to walk, because you had to do a fair amount of walking to get here anyway. It did start to rain, but fortunately New Orleans has those things that come out over the sidewalk for a lot of the way, so you didn't get too terribly damp. And as you walk along Gavin Street, you do hear a jazz band kick up. So.
See, this is why I got earplugs.
You.
I don't.
Well, it's not an annoying jazz band, but it is a jazz band. And it echoes because this place is full of buildings. It's a street band. They're just playing. Trying to busk in the rain, so they're up underneath the awnings as well.
Do we know, the exact address of the lab?
Yeah, we should.
You do. You're staring at the building now. It's a diner on the bottom, and the next two or three floors are the Mad Science Lab, we're told.
Okay, cool.
Sure.
So,
I will tip the band and go in.
Anyone want some food? Grover? Rotom?
It's like, no,
you're holding Rotom in your hand when it responds. You actually feel it kind of flex against your hand. Whoa.
Rotom, do you know Morse code?
Are you asking Rotom to speak to you directly?
I'm asking him the question. I don't think I would know what to do with the answer.
Oh, it just wiggles against your hand a little more.
Kathy, do you want to work with me later to see if we can come up with some programs from Rotom that'll act as a more easier to use user interface?
Oh, sure. But first, let's make sure the Brotherhood agents aren't dead.
Later.
Later.
Okay. So
Grover's all excited. He has a new friend, and Kathy's just like, okay.
Hey, what happens when I charge this phone?
Do you even need
You
to?
don't see a charging port.
God.
I don't.
I guess
I have not-
Rotom works for Apple.
I personally, as a DM, have not seen enough. I'm not going to make that joke, but you could probably make that joke with the number of tentacles that are on that phone now. If you know the joke, you're laughing at it. If you don't know the joke, you don't need to know the joke. It's not that great.
Pretty sure I made that joke a while ago.
I just lost the game.
I hate you.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So
I
yeah.
might know that joke, but I figured that you'd probably either charge it with blood or something weirder.
Or it's
Well, all I have is
photosynthetic.
all I have is electricity, so we'll have to figure that out later.
Yep. So
On the way
we go
there.
into the diner. So
Is it-
we're
it's a
going to
diner?
the diner, right?
the
Yeah, you
first
said it
floor is
was-
a diner, but there are stairs on the outside.
So it's like
okay, so we don't have
above
to go
the
into
diner.
the diner to find.
It's above the diner. It's one of those multi-story things that has one kind of business on the bottom floor and then more businesses up as you go up. It's not quite the mini mall that you'd expect to see in the open plains where you'd have a dance studio, UPS store, a GameStop or whatever, and then upstairs would be a tax office, a fraud office, a divorce attorney or whatever. Yeah, no, I've seen some weird strip malls, but it's one of those buildings that have multiple functions.
Okay.
I have never been more disappointed than the first time I visited a strip mall.
I don't know what you expected. So
Anyway, do we find a whole bunch of strangled mad scientists?
you don't find a bunch of strangled med scientists, no, but nobody answers when you knock on the door.
Do we
Okay.
have keys or the door code?
You do not.
Do we have someone who can pick locks?
Says Grover. Okay. So we have to. So is it a key lock or is it like is it like a keypad?
Key lock.
Okay.
It's like your basic mechanical lock.
Can I do a clever mystic arts to have Grover pick the lock with his tentacle?
Sure. Given that he's a
Well-
shape, that would definitely work.
While she does that, can I complain about them sending us to check on these people who they knew probably weren't here and they didn't give us a key?
Of course, roleplay.
Let's hear it.
Roleplay while I roll. Yes, do the
Let's
thing.
hear it.
I'm gonna spend
See, this is what
I'm gonna spend a faith dice from the pool for emotional support, Shoggoth.
Sounds good.
Demon Hunter agents are supposed to be able to improvise. Any of us
Josh.
could have gotten through that door.
Ugh. Well,
Josh,
Yes.
speak into your microphone.
Okay.
Yes, but there
Eat
isn't
the
always a reason to have to improvise. Like, what if the scientists still want to use this after this place is over? They're gonna have to pay to remake this lock.
9, 10, 11. Okay, I got a 15.
Okay, that's a successful style.
Yes.
So,
You see the tentacle kind of trail out of the backpack and just kind of shove itself into the lock and, you know, do its tentacle lock picking. Except at some points it sounds like it's metal against metal, and you're like, what? But then the backpack does have metal buckles, so...
yeah, you don't know. But it basically, you don't even see it really move. It just sort of sticks itself in there, and you hear
Oh, actually, it's a 17, because I got a +2 with that. Okay. But...
still successful style.
Yeah.
So you kind of see the tentacle stick into it and kind of stays there, but you hear the interior of this lock moving around, and then it just goes and unlocks. And you open the door. You get a temporary aspect boost with 1 free invoke on it. Decide what you'd like it to be. So you unlock the door and you push it open.
How about low-tech mad science?
There you go. 1 free invoke. You push open the door, and it will disappear once you use the invoke because it is a boost and not an advantage.
Mm-hmm. So fun fact, new players, sometimes you roll well enough on an overcome roll that you accidentally create an advantage. Or accidentally notice a scene aspect.
A temporary event. If it's a boost, it's temporary. It's a temporary one and will go away when it is used up. So we'll have like 1, 2, or 3 free invokes on it. When all those invokes are gone, the aspect is gone as well.
Okay, so I'll just
As
write-
opposed to normal aspects, which when their free invokes are used up, hang around.
Yeah, and then you can
Yeah,
use
boost-
your own faith dice to activate them later.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Because these mad scientists have a plain old ordinary key lock on the door. So I get the feeling, yeah.
For all we know, they also use a Shoggoth to unlock it.
So you push open the door, and you enter into kind of like, it would be kind of like a reception area, except it's like very clear they would never really expect anybody to come, because the room is clean and very sterile and empty, and kind of like if a bachelor was forced to make a waiting room, this would be it. So like there's not any kind of motivational capitalism on the walls or anything like that. It's just kind of a really heartlessly plain room. But what really strikes you is the intensely strong stink of formaldehyde.
Well.
I'm hungry.
Blah.
Well, because that's what formaldehyde does to people. When you work with formaldehyde, you get hungry because it's a hunger stimulant.
Okay, I'm just like, yes, preserve dead bodies. Let's eat.
Welcome to the Brotherhood.
I would expect that from Ned, not from Vasily.
That's racist.
I'm pretty sure that's Alivist.
That's livest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ned's full of Fresca at the moment.
Decided to switch out your LaCroix.
All right. So, is there anything to look at
Okay,
beyond?
I have to derail for a couple seconds. It's fun because LaCroix is actually illegal in, I believe, either Michigan or Minnesota because it won't disclose ingredients.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, getting that out there.
Frickin' beverage industry.
Anyways, anything to see in the lab?
You're not in the lab. You just entered the reception area. It looks like your basic. Nobody cares enough to do anything about this kind of reception area.
Do
and
we see a door to the lab?
There's doors on either side that lead
Yes.
off another place that you haven't opened yet.
Which one smells more like formaldehyde?
They both stink pretty badly. I mean, the smells kind of permeated the room to the point where you can't. It's like a cloud that's sitting at this point. It's spread enough that it's done that thing that gases do, which is evenly distributed itself around the room. You know?
All right, party, do we want to split up, or do we want to...
Could
I'm going to check out the receptionist desk.
okay, I'll do my thing after Josh's thing.
You've done enough, Vasily. Blah, blah, blah. Grover wants Vasily to go... No. Anyway.
So,
You, Vasily!
you asked the shotgun the question and you got an answer.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it.
That's what's the shotgun. So you head over to the receptionist desk, and the first thing you notice is all the dust. This receptionist desk is very dusty. Like,
That's important. So nobody's been here for a while.
Well, no one's used the receptionist desk for a while.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, the computer will still be on Windows 7 and won't have been forcibly upgraded.
cool, yeah, you turn.
Honestly, this is the Brotherhood. It's probably still Windows 95.
Exactly. It is the old yellow tower with the big CRT, and when you turn it, it goes boom, and it is that Windows 95.
And y'all
it's not
think
Windows
this...
Well, at
31.
least it's not Apple.
And y'all
That's-
claim this guy is terrifying. I'm like, oh my god.
I don't know who you're poking at. Oh, the shotgun.
Grover.
The shotgun.
We're not. Have any of us three claimed he was terrifying?
I mean, he did give you a mild condition.
No, the guy that he summoned gave me a mild condition.
No, Grover. It was Grover's writing. I mean, the writing
right.
was what gave the mild condition.
It's not his fault that I'm illiterate in his language.
I don't know that you have the kind of brain that can become literate in his language without without becoming a different kind of brain.
Things man was not meant to know, or woman, or
By the way,
non-binary
still
person.
not his fault.
Aww. Grover has a new friend.
Yeah, his name's Rotom.
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 I just pronounced it
So let's
Rotom
leave this
because
alone for the moment. I'm not going to try.
It's like rotor.
Yeah, but
the most important thing on the computer is that it hasn't been. Is the computer on?
you turned the computer on. The computer was not on when you got there.
Okay.
And it did boot up into Windows 95, and like it's this super grainy 8-bit, not 8-bit. What's the 256? That's it. 256. You know,
So if there's even a password, I will use a 0 day to get into it.
there's not a password.
Yeah, nothing.
The desktop has like the default icons. Yeah, pretty sure Windows 95 has desktop. Because at some point, yeah, let's just make Windows 90 because I know 98 had desktop. So yeah, it's Windows 98. It's a hideous blue houndstooth wallpaper. And if you leave it alone for long enough, it will start doing the pipe thing.
Screensavers.
Yes.
Sure. So I just want to get a sense of what was going on around it that was being used for the last time before it was turned off the last time.
So you root around a bit and you find basically some personnel software, like I don't even know what the precursor to like Workday would be, but it's something to keep track of people.
Some Netscape BS.
Microsoft Works.
Yeah, something like that. It was basically like this was used. This was primarily used to keep track of people workers in the office, who they hired and who was doing what, and some light inventory stuff. 40 years ago.
Okay.
No, not that long ago. Hang on, it's
Wait.
20,
26
26.
minimum.
46
Sorry.
is not for too long.
26 years ago. Yeah.
Right. So this hasn't been turned. Has this been turned on since 26 years ago?
You see that it had there are. If you check the system logs, there are timestamps for like once every 4 years or so.
Right.
So why is it out here?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Why have these scientists who are scientists are not known for their great storage space? Wouldn't they have filled up this room with other stuff?
My guess is we will find more relevant stuff in the other rooms, and that this one is just a front. But
Front?
I'm
Maybe
gonna
it's-
go.
no.
What is the first door to the right?
So the first door to the right is a okay. There's two doors on each side of the room. Nothing on the back wall. So the door on the right is there. Each door is the same. It's those cheap poly wood kind of doors you see in every office ever, essentially. And you pull it open, and you get a waft of cooler air. It still stinks like formaldehyde, but it's cooler than what was in the office.
Okay. Did the Brotherhood give us any intelligence on what kind of science work these guys were doing?
Nope, you guys got tapped. You got shoulder tapped out of a company luncheon essentially, and told, "Hey, we need somebody to go to New Orleans. Here's some plane tickets."
What is our actual objective here again?
You have to check in on a mad science facility that went dark.
So either tell them, call the main office, chucklefucks, or find out what killed them.
And the people who are normally here couldn't do it
50-50.
because
They are dealing with swamp monsters
Yeah,
outside the city
so-
limits.
And they did send an Omega team before you guys to check this out, and they haven't called back either.
So
that's-
it
They're
went
probably
from
maybe they're
50
hungover.
So it went from 50-50 dead or alive to more like 80-20 dead. So
Or
okay.
hungover.
Maybe. The fact that the computer has been used once every 4 years implies that somebody was doing something.
It was approximately once every 4 years. Like that was the average. I think
Right.
the longest span it didn't go was like 8 years, and then it was used like twice in 2 years. You know.
Okay, I walked through the door.
So you walk through the door. The lights are off.
Cryogenics? Formaldehyde and cool air, I would say cryogenics, but let's see.
Or like, what is that place in the hospital? Morgue.
There's some more.
So you walk through, and yeah, it's definitely cooler in this hallway than it is in the reception area. The lights are off, but
It's cool in this hallway. It's just filled with sunglasses.
you can turn it on if you like.
Yes, I turn on a light.
So you reach over to turn on the light, and your hand first encounters a bunch of a file, a Xerox box. It's just your favorite feelers box. You feel along the wall, and this wall is basically floor to ceiling
So-
with Xerox boxes.
So
And then you
I
finally
have a phone! I turn the light
yeah, I was
on!
about to say.
you find a gap between them, and you put the light switch on. Sure enough, this hall is kind of just stacked. You know, not quite floor to ceiling, but like at points it's floor to ceiling. At some points, not floor to ceiling, and like they have things written on them in doctor script, which is almost impossible to read if you're not a doctor.
It's normal shorthand.
But it's the kind of thing that's just a bunch of squiggles, but doctors know what all the squiggles mean, and so do pharmaceutical people. But you know, for people who do not have either of those backgrounds, it's basically just squiggles, unless you've read up on it.
So, because I'm covert ops, so I would have to read shorthand and stuff like that all the time, right?
Sure, I accept
Okay, so can I do clever covert ops and just look through them really quickly and try and see which one is the newest?
that. Sure, yep.
Okay.
Which file is least dusty? Paper files. Woohoo!
I rolled a 13.
Okay, that's a basic success. So it's a basic success because you have to check the boxes because they appear to be filed alphabetically as opposed to chronologically. So like this pile is about arms and this pile is about gizzards and that kind of thing, and it's just alpha by body part, and they do appear to be mostly anatomical studies about on cadavers, about things that don't quite make sense to you because you are not the mad scientist in charge of this, but would probably make sense to you if they explained it to you. The most recent file is the least dusty. It looks to be something about spleens.
Mm-hmm. Inside of the file, is there a date anywhere to tell me how recent it actually is?
The last date on the file, the latest date you find on the thing in the least dusty box is from about a week and a half ago.
Okay.
And it is followed with a note that says further specimens delayed, delivery expected.
Uh-oh.
Ned, you're an accountant. What do you think of this?
Can I math at this? to make some sense of it.
Well, because you would have to go through files and like try and audit them all the time back in your past life.
I mean, if it's an expense report, sure.
Strangely, all these files do not appear to be. Most of these files do not seem to include any kind of expenses.
That might not be a bad idea if we can find some more files, because if these guys science fodder is cadavers and there's recently been a rash of unsolved murders and they're not paying for bodies, it might be something we need to look at. But first, let's make sure there aren't any monsters or vortexes or
There are at least
gateways.
3 monsters in this room.
Oh, Ned. Oh, I'm like, wait, we've Grover the phone. And who? Oh, Ned. Ned's not a monster. Ned's, had an accident.
Now who's being alivest?
You're the ones who think monster is a bad thing.
Well, until the 80s, the Brotherhood thought so too.
Yeah, but that was the 80s. A lot of people were dumb back then.
All right.
So is this just a big room filled with like file cabinets,
It's
or is
not
this...
a room. It's a hallway.
It's a hallway? Okay.
Kind of like people have been having these files, and they just kind of put the box on the stack where it belongs. Kind of filing system here.
I continue hunting through the hallway for another door.
You do find it. There are you can look around the hallway and see the gaps in the boxes that are approximately door size. You're pretty sure are doors, but you don't know until you come upon them because the boxes are kind of stacked.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the setup out in the front room is just a front to, in case someone comes for soliciting purposes. Yeah.
It is New Orleans. There's probably a lot of that.
Doesn't mean they don't have staff, but yeah.
I guess, which is the
Door.
least obstructed door?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
that's the one they probably would go. That's either the one they go in and out of the most, or the one they would have had to go out of the most recently, because things wouldn't have had a chance to build up in front of it.
Good point.
Most of the doors remain unobstructed. Like there is one door that's clearly got a bunch of files stacked in front of it, but when you reach it, you see that it's been labeled filing room.
Okay, so I will
So you
once
just
again-
open the door and it's just a solid wall of cardboard file boxes.
And there's an avalanche! Avalanche!
That's assuming you can get the door open.
Oh no, it closes. It opens inward. Damn it! Just thunk. Nope. All right. I start with the first door to my right again.
You open it. It's a chemical storage closet.
Okay. Formaldehyde.
Formaldehyde and also a bunch of other preservatives and some reagents. Nothing particularly exotic. Like not
Okay.
like you'd expect. Like nothing
You-
chemists, but like this is most of it's pretty basic. Nothing labeled with super long names or done in weird suspensions or something like that. It's pretty. Most of it's pretty basic.
Yeah. With my R&D of a D8, it's like, yeah, this is normal. This is the normal stuff. Okay, then I close this door and go to the next room.
Oh, you have an RD of D8? Then
Yes.
you would look at this and see this is. You would probably guess this is not a chemist closet. This would probably be a biologist closet.
Okay. All right. Well, they were biology. I mean, use of cadavers, spleens, etc. What Vasily found in the files. Like, yeah. So these were some sort of biology project.
Oh, actually, really quickly, in the most recent file that I looked through, how many handwriting styles were there?
There were 3 different handwriting styles, and the report was signed off by let me get the name up because I do have the name.
Did you say
Monnier.
3? Did you say
3
3?
different hand styles, and the signing doctor was Monnier.
Okay, and none of the pages, even the ones in different hand styles, had other people signing on them?
That was the most recent reports. If you look back a couple more reports, like it seems like Mornier's signing for all the spleen, but like if you look at like the heart or something, you might find a Jackson, and I believe there was also a what's the third guy's name? Smith. I'm sorry.
It's okay. All right. I go to the next door.
You open it up and you find a darkened laboratory.
Fun! Turn on a light.
You turn a light. It seems like this laboratory hasn't been used in at least a couple weeks. Everything appears to be put away neatly, and yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
if it's a couple of
is-
weeks
there's,
unused, then it's.
huh?
I was going to say, if it's been a couple weeks unused, then it wasn't whatever they were doing before they vanished, because the report that I found was only from a week and a half ago.
Yep, there are a couple of large tables like you'd expect to see in like a morgue or a examiner's room. There's also a smaller section with a fume hood and just a couple different stations around the walls. The mandatory safety stations too, which is surprising to see in a mad science lab.
Well, I mean, it's there. It doesn't mean they're gonna use it.
Fair.
If you're gonna do mad science, you need mad safety.
You'd
They're
think.
crazy, not stupid.
Is there another lab?
Also,
There is one more door along this hallway.
I'll check it.
All right,
unless
you
you-
open.
So I take it there are morgue tables, but no box no body lockers, shall
Not in
we
this-
say? Okay, then yeah, I go to the next one.
Right. Artie gets there first, opens the door,
Yep.
and immediately a wash of cold air mixed with the stink of corpse smell. Like, Artie, you're not very familiar with rotting bodies, but the knight who's with you is like, someone died here.
Apparently so.
Death on the
The lights
wind.
are off. The lights are off.
Sure. Same basic thing. I'll pull out my phone and use it as a light to locate the light switch.
Yep, you find the light switch, right on the wall there. You flick it on. This lab is not put together. This lab is in enormous amounts of disarray. Hang on, I'm blurry again. So
Try-
this lab is, it also has the two tables, one of which, finally,
Fixed.
one of which looks like it had once been occupied, given the fact that there's very clearly an outline in some kind of weird yellowish fluid that you're not really sure what it is, but isn't right now. And there are, in fact, 3 corpses in the room. One of them appears to be, one of them is on the floor next to the table that had been occupied.
On the floor next to
One
the table.
is underneath the emergency chemical station, which is actually stopped running, but like you can see the chain is torn off in the corpse's hand.
So these are professional corpses. These are amateur corpses that supposedly used to be the scientists.
Yeah, so that is the question. I also have a G8 in research and development. So,
I'm sorry, I'm just like, what do you mean professional versus amateur corpse?
It's
Well, I mean,
like-
there's
it's
the,
like-
there's the corpses that are supposed to be here, and then
Yeah,
there's
that.
the murdered scientists.
Okay,
There's
yes.
research
sorry.
subjects,
Yeah.
and then there's researchers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Former
Intentional
researchers.
corpses versus accidental corpses.
Okay, that was a bit I was missing. I'm like, are you supposed to be in business attire?
there are research subjects and there are future research subjects, and they're
Right,
different.
yes, these are future research subjects.
There you go.
The only professional zombie in the room is me.
Yes, you are. You're professional. I mean, you don't
You
look
know.
at this point, given the amount of beads you have. You have like a disco ball underneath the lights. Every time you turn around, you pull a billion reflections onto the walls. But
When in Rome,
when in New Orleans, wear 10 pounds of plastic beads.
Yeah. For the record, I'm not wearing my beads. I have them in my pocket because I plan on using them, Ned.
Sure.
how is
Uh,
Ned not using them? He's wearing them.
They're armor.
That means that's
They are an
supposed to
armor
mean
bonus.
they've been used.
If I don't wear all the things saying where I've been, how will people know?
Someone's going to offer you beads and be very disappointed.
I mean, he's undead. He's lucky his stomach isn't trailing behind him on the sidewalk.
You don't know what people are into.
This is true.
It's New Orleans. There's some freaky shit.
Hey, Kink Tomato, your kink is not my kink, and that's okay.
So I'm going to try to reconstruct the scene and get a sense of what happened here. That said, I don't think I have any relevant aspects. So I think I'm just going to have to use.
I do.
I guess clever is actually reasonable there. So, but I can use clever and combat and tactics to see what kind of fight happened here.
Okay.
CSI Excalibur edition.
Uh-huh.
CSI Camelot. There we go.
CSI Camelot. Camelot. It's only a model.
Shh.
Because I'm mostly looking at, there clearly was a fight. There was something was torn off in someone's hand. 11.
Okay, so the kind of fight that went on here, you've been in fights, generally a little more staged than this, but you've been in fights, and your unwelcome tag along has definitely been in fights, and he's doing that thing from The Princess Bride where Prince Humperdinck is stepping along in their footsteps. Just kind of recreating the scene. He's like, it appears that someone stepped off the slab, and the two scientists here, and he points to Mr. Eyewash Station, and the other guys across the room, kind of, who would have been slumped into a sink, because at some point the rigor mortis wore off and he fell off. Tried to prevent this from happening, but their assailant was very strong, and
I'm actually going to spend a faith die.
Okay.
Because I realize I do have a relevant aspect. It's called Night Possessed SCA Geek. To re-roll my 2. And turn this into a 16. Success with style.
Successful style. Okay. So your night buddy, walks you through the fight, and as he's walking you through the fight, you notice that he's talking about, the assailant who had been on the table, who had apparently stood up off the table and taken out these two guys, like super hard. You notice he doesn't actually say anything about the third body, who's lying beside the table itself. And you go over and you roll, kind of do a little effort and roll the body. I mean, it's gone bones at this point, and it is stinking. So I don't remember how long it takes his corpse to bloat, but you do get a waft of putrid air when you roll this guy over. It appears to be, if you had to get the lab coat says Mornier. It has the name tag on the lab coat, Monier. Right. And there's no bludgeoning marks on this person, as best you can see, because they are kind of rotted. But you've worked with machines before, and electrical burns when you see them.
Right.
So.
So that one was electrocuted.
And then
there was a murderer who was originally on the slab, maybe, who left. Is that right? Or is everybody who was involved in this tableau still here?
It looks like, according to your night buddy, the person who killed the other two researchers, there was definitely did stand up off the slab, and there's only 3 bodies here, so.
Is it a Frankenstein situation?
You said electrical burns, right?
To me.
Yes, electrical burns.
And that might explain.
Okay, so who wants to? So can I put money right now down on this being that the whatever it is, the robot companion, something happened to him and he went crazy?
I mean, yeah, that's the Frankenstein syndrome. Oh, actually, it depends on how you look at it.
Is there something in the room that could have caused those electrical burns?
You did
the live wires.
You roll a 16. So, you did. There is an apparatus suspended above the slab. You look at it and it doesn't look like much, but once again, you've worked with electrical things. You're, Mr. Soldering Iron. You've used this before, and you can see the points on the side where maybe wires had been once or something that had been torn off.
Right. And that's probably still live. Nobody touched those, at least not with your bare hands. Ned, you can probably do what you want.
All right.
Let's get juiced. We're in New Orleans.
Melt all those plastic beads into your chest.
So my timer for our 10-minute break just went up. If this is an okay place to stop, or do you want to keep going?
I could use a bathroom break. Not sure about everyone else.
Okay. So, do you want to pause it here and chat? We'll be taking a 10-minute break. For humaning reasons.
Sounds good.
All right.
Arcane the Sage. My liver!
All right, chat. So stick around. I'll be in chat for a bit to answer your questions while we are on the save screen, and we will see you in 10 minutes. Okay?
I will leave the Zoom call.
See you in a sec. And we're live.
Alright, welcome back to Demon Hunters New Orleans. We're here, we're having fun, we're at Mardi Gras, or at least lead up into it, because apparently Mardi Gras takes place over the course of several weeks. And we have our representative, Ned! With every single bead necklace he could find.
Ooh, Pride Zombie! Woohoo!
When we
didn't
left
earn
off,
those
we were inside
necklaces.
a mad scientist laboratory. Sorry. Was you going to say something?
I was just saying about Ned. He didn't earn those necklaces.
No, I bought them with money.
Yeah.
That you earned. Money can be exchanged for goods and services. Anyway, so yes, we left off, and when our team was in a mad scientist laboratory, having just discovered 3 corpses and then investigated them.
And not the corpses that were being studied. These are the corpses of the people doing the researching. So that is a problem.
Yeah. Corpses, not cadavers.
Ah, yes, that is a better distinction. What did I say? Are these the professional or the amateur corpses?
Yes, it's just like this is a baffling question. The only professional corpse here is Ned.
Yeah.
Ned, professional
It
corpse.
is very
It's
professional.
on his business card.
He's really bad at being a corpse.
The only other person I would classify as a professional corpse is Chris Weiner.
Hmm.
Man, just-
Damn!
Or Sean Bean.
That would be another one. That would also apply.
Just to tick it off the box, do the other 2 corpses have the other 2 name tags that match the
Yes.
other 2 names? Okay.
Jackson and Smith.
Yep. Jackson is the one in the eye wash, and Smith is the one who would be over this thing, except
He tried
Cancel it
to save himself with the eye wash?
I don't know that he was trying to save himself. He might,
Well,
you know,
they were going for the eye wash in the sink. Maybe they needed water.
they were stumbling around. You know that he is sitting in the eye wash station, and he has the chain to the eye wash station in his hand. It's been broken off. For Jackson. For Smith, he was just over by the sink.
Okay. And there's still a strange yellow liquid on the table.
There's
Well,
an outline in strange yellow that might have been at one point liquid, but it's been a couple weeks.
Okay.
Are there
Wait,
some wires I can find around to verify that the connections I suspect are still live are in fact still live without electrocuting anyone, particularly me?
I mean, we've got Ned.
I missed the first part of that sentence. What?
Yeah, are there any like spare wires I can find around somewhere in the lab that I can use to verify that the connections that I believe are still live are in fact still live?
I'll just grab one.
You find
Ned!
the
Ned!
they're not quite within grabbing range. You have to get up on the thing if you want to try and grab any part of this thing. Up on the
Jump.
grab any part of this thing. So you can do that. You just need to get up there first. For Artie, you find one of those, grabber thingies,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, they're live.
Yep.
Pretty heftily live too.
Bzzzt.
Yeah, Ned, you get up there, you reach up and you touch it, and you do that thing that people do when they touch live wires, which is launch themselves 20 feet into the air and then hit the nearest wall. Not because the electricity pushes you that way, but because all the muscles in your body respond to electricity by contracting and tossing you.
Which the fact they're able to do that raises a lot of questions about how his zombie nature actually works.
I mean, if you can still do that to you can actually do that to like crab claws.
Only
and stuff,
very
so
only very fresh ones.
fair, but he's a zombie. He's still moving around.
Ned's totally fresh.
Muscles still work.
Incidentally, Ned, the bottom couple of layers of necklaces did in fact weld themselves to your chest with that.
Ned is poppin' fresh.
Keeps everything where it's supposed to be.
All right, I'm
And also,
going.
you smell lightly fried.
So I'm going to take this moment to take some cipher phone pictures of the scene and send those back to whoever sent us here saying, okay, before anything else happens, these guys are dead. And we may need a cleanup crew. It looks like that, I'm probably just emailing on my phone. Probably send a cleanup crew. We will investigate if they have an escaped undead robot monster, ? They seem to have died from electrocution, or did they all die from electrocution, or did the other two die differently? The first one had burns on them.
The electrical burns is right beside the body, or actually it's missed beside the slab. That one's the only died from electrical burns. The other two were bludgeoned to death.
Okay.
You can tell because their chests are concave instead of convex.
Okay.
So they were bludgeoned in the chest?
So,
Well, at least one of them was. The other one, the head is.
electricity troll.
Mm.
I know it's not actually a troll. Just go with it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
so yeah,
Cassie, you get an automatic out of office response.
A what?
You get an automatic out of office response.
Okay,
Thanks.
well,
If it's important, we'll respond. We'll get back to you in the next couple of days.
that's fine, but it's still more than the Omega team did, so at least, like, if we
Fair.
disappear, there will be a trail of information.
Or they just didn't check their email for that Omega team either.
It's possible. The Omega emails immediately go to spam. That sounds very Brotherhood to me.
Yeah, probably.
Sounds legit.
All right. Are there any more doorways down this hallway?
No, this was the last one.
Okay. So R&D is my second highest stat. Is it conceivable that I have like some like just test tubes and things and like, a sampling kit?
I mean, you have Grover.
I do have Grover. Does anyone else have any no, we're in a lab. I look for some clean test tubes with stoppers.
You did find an undisturbed lab.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna go back there,
you
scavenge.
find a supply closet. You have as much stuff as you need as you can get from a biologist supply closet.
Okay, I'm gonna get some clean test tubes with stoppers in them, and I'm gonna take some samples of the yellow liquid. Can I roll?
X liquid. It's now just kind of a yellow crust.
Huh. Okay, I would like to roll. I guess this is clever R&D to figure out what this stuff is. I don't think my God's damned masters in library science will help with this, so I'm just gonna make it a straight roll.
Strange yellow fluids rarely come up in the library for some reason.
Well,
No.
Well,
No.
I'm a librarian in real life. I don't want to talk about that part of the job. All right.
That's why they have janitors.
Oof. That's a 7. I'm gonna spend a faith dice from the pool of the ones that chat bought us to re-roll the 1.
Okay.
Okay, I got a 12.
Okay, basic success.
There's
So-
like microscopes and other things around, right?
Oh yeah. No, you take a look.
Because if it's crusting over, I would think maybe it's like platelets or something. Well, I mean, if it's biological, but
It does seem to have biological components. You're not a chemist or a biologist, and frankly, neither am I. So I'm gonna recognize it right on the. I don't want to specify because if I do, I will be wrong. And but
This is why I created MacGuffinite for mad science.
Yeah. But yeah, it does definitely appear to have biological components. It also, for some reason, appears to contain battery acid. You're not sure on that one. And so it appears to be a couple parts white, not white blood cells, but like plasma. That's what I want to say. One part battery acid, a couple parts you don't recognize off the top of your head, and one part. Damn it, I don't remember the top of my head. It's battery acid and the other kind of acid that you use to anodize electronics.
So, question: those wires that are hanging off the ceiling, did they look like they were torn out or cut out or what?
It's not wires hanging from the ceiling anymore. It's an apparatus that has spots in the sides that look like they could have had wires in them once. And I mean, there are short little wires hanging out of them now, but they're not. Nothing's really hanging.
Basically, does it look like something was forcefully pulled out of it?
Yes.
Okay. So it wasn't done with any type of intention, and we have a mixture of body and battery acid, which means it's probably a cyborg.
Some kind of tech and biology and tech, and I mean, we've got agents like that too, but I guess this one was not made with great care, or they made a mistake.
It could also be a reanimation Mary Shelley style.
It could be. Alright, so now we have another suspect for the stranglings. Since it was, if it was strong enough to bludgeon a couple people to death, it's strong enough to strangle someone.
But why would it strangle other people and then bludgeon these guys?
Well, no, it's. I think this. Do I got the sense that this all happened a week and a half ago?
Yeah, maybe a week and 3/4.
Yeah, so I think this started before the stranglings.
The rate of decomposition is,
yeah,
consistent with them being left alone for a while, and the smell of formaldehyde was strong enough that you didn't smell the bodies until you opened the door.
Okay, and when did we hear about the stranglings starting? They said recently.
Yeah.
So like less than a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
And this happened less than a couple weeks ago, so this is, this is a thing that's happening. Do we see any, like, tracks that we didn't notice before, either of, like, weird congealed liquid, or...
Roll for it.
I guess this is clever R&D again.
Sure.
Oh wait, that's a D8. 11.
Okay, that's enough. Yeah, you do see, like, when you moved Mornier's body, you saw a couple of yellow footprints on the floor, near them.
What size footprints? Like, really, really big?
Size 12.
Okay.
But they were also definitely, like, toes, so barefoot.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a regular number of toes. Those, like, you can see them walk across, and, like, they get kind of smeared at some points, at 2 separate points in point of fact, with, some reason. But whatever it had been tracking, wears off before it hits the door.
Mm.
But that's the way it was going.
Alright. The front door. Or just the door of this lab?
The door of this lab.
Okay.
So can I do basically a check through this hallway and through the main room to see if there's any more traces of the yellow stuff through here, through the main room, or like on or around the door of the other door in the main room, to see if there's any traces of the yellow stuff or any traces of some other way that people left the building.
Okay, roll for it.
Okay, so I think that would be covert ops plus clever.
Sure, yeah, that sounds right. For tracking people.
Yeah, okay, let me... Okay. $11.
Okay, basic success. So, you do find traces of yellow on the handle to this lab, But you don't find any traces on the handle to the interior of the soulless reception room, or on the handle of the reception room out into the stairwell that you claim to get here.
Okay. I'm gonna
And my search for the other ways of exiting that I was also doing. Did I find anything
There's a window at the end of the hallway that has yellow smears in the cell.
there? Is it an open window?
It is not currently open.
I'm gonna go through the door on the other side of the receptionist room and take a look
Okay.
around and turn on lights and use my cell phone flashlight.
Okay, yep. You find another hallway lined once again with Xerox boxes full of files. It looks like that these files go back at least. There's a lot of files, both down this hallway, down the other hallway, and probably in that room whose door you couldn't open that was labeled, or you couldn't open, whose label was archive. And you're thinking maybe they've been here for as long as the computer has. But there's only one door in this hallway. It's a shorter hallway than the other one, much shorter actually. There's only one door, and it's at the end. When you open it up,
Is it the
here's
bathroom?
the meat locker.
It's the what?
Meat locker. For the
Okay.
you see the body bins, and like there are one wall is just fridges, and you can see various body parts in the fridges,
Okay.
organs and that kind of stuff.
Does it
All
look
of it neatly labeled.
all of it neatly labeled?
Yes.
Do I notice any of the bodies are missing parts individually?
Most of the bodies that like you open up, less than half of the lockers up against the far wall are filled. Those that are, there is no complete corpse. There's just most of corpses.
So they're jigsawing it, or they were jigsawing a monster.
Something anyway.
Okay. All right.
So
I
the
rejoin group.
So the window, you said it had yellow stuff on it, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then it was also a closed window.
Correct.
How big is the window?
The windows that it's just, it's basic average, like 2-part window that lifts up. It's, sorry, I have a picture window in my room. It's maybe that wide.
Basically,
And
is there
2
any
squares
sign that
tall.
something could have climbed out of it?
Yes, big enough for that, definitely.
Okay, and then like the bug net on the window, was that also replaced?
I'm sorry?
The bug net on the window, the guy who climbed out of it would have had to either rip through the bug net or take it out and put it back in.
There's no bug net on the window.
No bug net in New Orleans?
In New Orleans?
You don't see a bug net on this window.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're not going to get much by tracking them from here. The corpse is whoever this is 2 weeks old.
I
need to go up to
have
dead bodies.
an idea. Vasily, may I borrow Rotem for a moment?
Sure.
So I take Rotem and basically have Rotem text my phone so I can get a lock on Rotem because Rotem is a phone monster.
Right.
And I take off my backpack, and I kind of... Well, okay, this is what I want to do, is I want to make a mini Shoggoth bloodhound that we can then track because it is part phone. And it'll be, okay boy, sniff the yellow goo, and then let's find it somewhere else. So I am going to say this is clever mystic arts +2 because I'm commanding minions. So yeah, I'm trying to merge 2 minions into a bloodhound.
I would require someone else to help you with the technical side of things.
I can help with that.
I mean, we do have a free invoke on low-tech mad science.
We do.
Sure.
So
Yeah, that would work instead.
I'll
Hey.
add that as well. And I would use a pool faith dice. Actually, I'll use one of my personal faith dice for emotional support Shoggoth.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Josh would also be able to help with that.
Okay.
Right, yeah. So, I will require at least one person to help out still, even with the magical low tech.
Sure.
Okay, so
Wait,
that
wait.
have them build an advantage.
Yes, build
Okay.
advantage. What the heck was that?
Oh, that was me.
Okay.
Sure. I'll build advantages with clever, what is it? Clever research and development. I'll build a set a bit of skeleton code for your robot, for
There you
your
go.
for your
For tracking entities beyond this dimension, even if they are
Yeah.
sitting in phone
Oh
hardware.
yeah, you can put the sentient software onto Rotem, and then Rotem also has cipher powers.
That's actually
So
not a bad idea.
So quick question. This is still my phone, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
We think.
Can't I just turn on Find My Phone?
Yeah,
Sure,
but,
but
Don't worry, this is really good software.
you can turn on Find Your Phone, but then you would be helping out instead of Artie. So.
But I mean, that's
I just need
push.
people to work on this.
Do people need to work on this? It would just be pushing a button, then taking Kathy's phone and saying, "Okay, log in, find my phone."
But your phone isn't currently there. We're building a way for your phone to track this thing.
No,
I thought that we were. No, my phone is becoming the Bloodhound Shoggoth.
No,
and then we're using Kathy's phone to track it, aren't we?
No. My Grover is becoming the Bloodhound Shoggoth, and we're adding Rotem so we can track Grover.
Rotom will be sitting. Phone Rotom will be sitting on top of Grover, essentially, like.
But then still, that would still be just Find My Phone.
Your phone is now an entity beyond beyond dimensions.
And now we're making it a cipher too.
A little bit of help trying to do the Find Your Phone thing.
Yeah,
That's why I'm requiring you to do this, because you need to have someone, adjust Find Your Phone to find a phone that exists in more than 3 dimensions.
Okay, but then why can't we have either Ned or Artie's phone do it? Because theirs is just a normal phone, and they can turn on Find My Phone.
The thing is, mini Shoggoths can merge into bigger Shoggoths.
But why does this have to be merging? They can just have Grover hold it.
Why is it my phone?
Vasily, trust me. We're much better off using your phone. We can get you a burner. It'll be okay. You can let your phone go for a bit.
I've nearly beaten Angry Birds seasons. I just don't want to lose it.
If you do just want to, hand Grover a phone for them to carry inside their head as they move around as this seeing dog Shoggoth, then it would not require the extra role, the extra person helping out. But for merging Rotom into one big Shoggoth and then still being able to track a Shoggoth, even if it is part phone, does require somebody else to, adjust the Find Your Friends bit.
Okay. Does anyone else want to donate their cipher phone to this?
I think we're better off using Rotem for this, unless Vasily, if you really don't want to. I mean, I can back up your Angry Birds. It's okay.
We're nerds. It's fine.
It's not Angry Birds. He's got Flappy Bird on there. You can't get that anymore.
I'm not going to back up Flappy Bird. There's nothing. What is it? High scores? What? Sure. Let's roll.
God, that is a question. I kind of want us dawn now. If you can find a copy of Flappy Bird in the warehouse, because it's a non-unique normal item.
I'm not going to take a demon die just to help out. Yeah, no, it's not really cooperating. I think we're going to have to use the stock app with what you have.
So Artie, you're basically giving up your phone to the Shoggoth instead?
No, I rolled a 9.
Okay. Yeah, it's not quite a success.
It's not quite a success, but it's not,
Not hideous, no.
Okay, so we have to make it swallow another phone?
Yes.
Can I have my phone back now?
Okay. Well, I've traded info with Rotem and my phone, so since everyone else is being so whiny, I can give it my phone.
I mean, if we need the success in order for us to succeed, I can turn that into a success one way or another. I didn't think we needed it.
Okay, well, Merc said we did need it if we wanted the
Rotom.
Sure.
If we wanted the part cybernetic Shoggoth.
So I will spend one of my fate dice, reroll my d10. That brings it up to a 10.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, no. I'm blurry again. Can you pin my video feed into place?
I will do that, but I don't know if it helps if you leave. But we will see what happens.
Oh.
Turn.
If you leave your, I see. Can you switch your videos?
That's-
you don't have
so,
to
yeah,
set-
That's not
Can't
what
you
Pin
just-
does. Apparently.
What if you just
goodness.
turn off your camera and
Good
then turn it back
job,
on?
guys. Okay.
All Merc all the time. Yay.
Okay.
You
What
might
if you
wanna
just turn your camera off and turn it
Remove
back on?
pin.
There we go.
And now I have to change the view again.
I am sorry.
Uh-huh.
What's up, Verbing Nouns?
Okay.
We know verbing nouns.
There we go.
No. Verbing nouns said we can only see Merc. That is true.
Oh my god, seriously? Come on, focus.
I think the problem, Merc, is that you're not covering your camera. You're covering like a third of it, like covering 2/3 of it. Yeah. There you
That
go.
works.
Yeah, you have to basically grab the camera.
Okay.
And show it who's boss.
Yeah, seriously. You better watch it, mister. I'm gonna leave you behind when I go to Chicago.
All right. So so does that
Okay.
mean I get? Is that an additional invoke or?
That means this works without a hitch. So,
Okay.
you know, you set phone Tom on top of the Grover dog, and they've merged and become a slightly bigger Grover dog with a shiny tag, kind of ish area.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay.
Grover,
Here's
dog
the-
mode. Blah.
So you know, it's like sniff this. You know, tapping on the yellow stuff, on the yellow stuff, tapping at the yellow stuff on the table.
Sniffy
like-
sniff.
You know, leaps off the table onto the floor, sniff, 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 and you see him following along. He follows the footsteps, and when the footsteps peer out, he still seems to be following a very specific path. When he gets to the door is open, so he just goes through, and he goes over. He goes up, jumps to the window, and then just kind of does this thing that kind of hurts your eyes to see, where he goes through the cracks around the window that would not, like these cracks would not fit in ants, but the shotgun can fit through them just fine, because
That's my boy.
that's not
Because that was easier than just opening the window.
yeah. I mean, he's a dog foreman. Just go
Wait.
through the window. We're not even gonna stop.
Kathy, are we trying to track a week or two of movement of whatever this creature is?
Yes, with another magical creature.
It seems like it'll take a long time. Why don't
That's
we
why I
do
wanted my phone.
guys?
Well,
Unless you think it's holed up somewhere, and it's probably still there, and rather than keeping moving, which is possible, I guess.
I would think it might have set up a den somewhere.
Yeah, all right.
Or that's what
Try
I'm
it.
hoping for. Especially if the stranglings seem to be around specifically around, what was it, Jackson Square?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Not specifically around, but that's the center of that's the epicenter of it.
Yeah.
It's like if you plot them all out, that's at the center.
So do I have to? I was gonna roll for all this, so now I don't have to?
No, you don't have to roll for Grover to do all this, but it is going to take several hours. Because he's following something around the city, and he's following it from the moment that it left this lab to where, until he finds it.
Okay, if
Kathy, can I have your phone?
hold on one sec. Okay. How about I command Grover, okay, remember the smell? We're gonna go to this epicenter place, and then you can track it from there. Do I have to roll for this?
Yes, because he's out of range. You'll have to do it psychically.
Okay.
Or call the phone.
In that case, I will... Well, calling the phone, I think, doesn't mean I... Actually, no, I can call the phone, but I still have to do the minion commanding roll.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
for that...
I'll meet you here in a few minutes. I'm going to get a burner phone. I really can't stand Basil whining about his phone so much. I'll be back in a little bit.
So I'm gonna use the invoke for low-tech mad science,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna use a faith dice for emotional support mini Shoggoths, and it's a clever mystic arts +2 because I'm commanding my minions.
Fair enough.
So, ooh, well, that's a 1 on the faith die, so I get to keep it.
Correct. And the
12, 19.
okay, that is a success with style.
Oh, wait, no, +2. 21.
Okay, please be damned. You tell me how it goes.
Alright, so... I go down to talk to Grover the way I usually do.
1 second. So, for the people who are, looking at me kind of oddly, who are guests in the stream, we have a house rule called physics be damned. If you roll a 20 or higher on your roll, basically you get to dictate how whatever you want to happen happens. Physics be damned, because you rolled a pretty impressive amount. Like, the only time I've seen higher rolls are when every 6 people set of advantages, and they're rolling 15, 16, 17, 18 dice, and then it went on from there. So
Okay, so there were also invokes on cell phone Shoggoth, but it's fine. I think a 21 is enough. So what happens is Kathy's goes down to talk to Grover, and Grover's having a little trouble understanding because it's not just Grover now. So she does call Rotan on her phone and going, Grotan! And he's all excited because he thinks he's a dog, and he probably looks kind of like a Rottweiler with tentacles in some odd places. Maybe
what are non-odd places?
Your dog looks Grover looks like a regular dog until he opens his mouth to bark, because his mouth opens up down to his chest.
And he's probably got tentacles in there like that Cthulhu My Little Pony.
Yes.
And he's like, wah! So I now have to talk to him. Okay, Grover, we don't need you to track him all over the city. We're going to go to the epicenter of where we think the stranglings are happening, and we'll see if he has a base of operations there, okay? And so I pick up my dog. He's probably still quite small, so he's like a mini Rottweiler, but he's so happy. And slimy, but it's fine. And we just hoof it over. Do we need to take a cab, or are we we said we were a block away from
You
Jackson
are
Square?
two major city streets away from where you are to the Jackson Square.
Please, I'm a New Yorker. This is fine. So I walk New York style, which probably annoys, confuses, and startles all of the drunk people who are not used to New Yorkers in their territory. And
we don't have to walk through a parade or someone setting up for a parade.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do end up walking through a parade.
No, actually, no. Physics be damned.
True, yes.
They've cordoned off streets for a parade in a perfect pattern for us to just get through without traffic. And the parade hasn't started yet. And we're like, okay.
There you go.
So then we get to Jackson Square. Is Jackson Square an actual park square, or is it just a street called a square?
It is actually a park square. It's got a big fountain in the center.
Okay, so so I ask Grover, Grotem, could you grow a leash so we don't get in trouble with the norms? And he's like, wah! And now he has a leash. And I basically
The leash is somehow simultaneously in your hand and also dripping through your fingers at all times, but it never quite leaves.
That's fine. Well, fine for me. And Grotam.
Grotom.
Grotum.
There you go, Grotom.
Grotam.
I still think the Rotom jokes sound better as Rotom. But that's just...
Rover.
Grotam starts sniffing around the square, and we maybe walk for about a block, or we walk down one side of it before his little slimy ears perk up, and he's like, point, like a little pointer, and starts excitedly wanting to go that way, and I'm like, okay, we'll go that way, and now you tell us where we go, because I don't actually know where the monster is.
Really quick, since we were in Jackson Square, can I say that I got some beignets from those beignet sellers they have there?
Sure, yes. You all got beignets. They are quite delicious,
Oh, so we are in the French Quarter.
Let me zoom out a little bit. Come on.
Yeah, I think we are.
Yeah, I think
Is Jackson Square in the French Quarter?
I have no idea. It doesn't actually specify.
this is not a New York City block. We do not need a cab around here. I have been to this part of the city.
Oh, I wore my feet off walking around New Orleans.
Really?
But yeah.
I have no. I have never been to New Orleans in my life. I don't actually know where the French Quarter starts, but you are on the other side of North Rampart Street, so
Okay, so Grotam gets the scent and leads us to danger. Because it's past 9:30 and we started like 15 minutes late, so we could go if everyone's okay with going to 10:15. But yeah, we're down to 45 minutes, and I suspect we have a monster to fight.
Oh yeah, you do in the New Orleans Historic Voodoo Museum.
Interesting. Well, he is kind of a zombie.
Okay. So on the way, Artie will hand his phone to Vasily. Here, I set up a guest account for you. You can use my phone for a while. I've been working on a spare anyway, and pulls out another object that looks, for all intents and purposes, like a phone.
Right. It looks like a phone.
It's totally a phone.
Does it look like a phone the same way Vasily's Rotom looks like a phone?
A little bit. I mean, it looks much more normal.
Okay.
Nice tablet.
Oh, Words with Friends. I love that. No.
I think the aspect for that is this totally looks like a phone to invokes.
Are you gonna create?
I'm using my second stunt.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay. I'm just like, are you creating an advantage? Nicholas, you gotta roll for it. Okay. Yes.
No, I don't.
So, Grover, leaps out of your arms and starts leading you along.
I'm a dog.
Oh, now you can speak English.
Occasionally, yes, Grover is pulling you along by the leash, which is also him. So it's kind of like it is pulling you along as well, kind of like a tennis fashion. And maybe Grover has an extra leg at some point. You're not sure, but
fine.
Nobody comments on it. Everybody around you is heavily drunk, like heavily drunk, and you don't have to use your necklaces, Vasily, because a bunch of other people are using theirs.
This is not the tentacled minion you are looking for.
They're
See,
not.
this is why I wanted my phone, Artie, and then I just start taking pictures.
They are not looking down. People are not looking down. It's not the direction their attention is pointed. But yes, Grotom eventually does lead you to the New Orleans Historic Voodoo Museum.
Artie, how is your phone already out of storage space?
Quit taking the pictures that are like a billion.
Have limited space. That's how.
The pictures that are like, you hit the button once, they take like a billion of them.
Oh, it's set on that mode, yeah.
Yeah, it's set on that
mode's
mode.
annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, low frame rate video mode.
Yeah.
Drop it out of frame rate video and drop it down to like 5 megapixels. Should be fine.
All this time, Kathy is explaining to Vasily. So it's not whether or not they can hear. I think they're just sort of one giant eardrum. It's just that they have a very high tolerance for sound, because this is also the species that surrounds Azathoth playing the most horrendously screechy instruments you can imagine to make sure he doesn't wake up.
What, a violin?
Sort of. Including things that look like violins, but flutes and pipes.
Like a cello?
Guitars and cello.
Viola?
A very screechy cello. It's all. Oh, I've had visions. It's bad.
Wait, Kathy, you're the expert here. I thought, according to Call of Cthulhu, isn't that supposed to be like the Dark Young or something? Are they different?
The Goat of the Thousand Young? That's the Thousand Young of the Black Goat are more like on Earth like eating people who don't worship their mom properly. It's also, there's a lot of different versions, but it seems to me like a whole lot like Cthulhu doesn't necessarily isn't really an administrator of Shoggoths, but they just seem to be this like default minion race. The Shoggoths, I believe, were actually created by the weird people who lived in the North Pole.
Santa?
Right, Mountains of Madness. I've read it.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's cute. Douchecraft published it. Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Ned, you are offered some more necklaces.
All right.
And you take your techie, what do you call it, shirt off. But nobody can tell because you're already wearing so many necklaces.
I just lift up the t-shirt and then the dress shirt's underneath it, so.
There you go. So yes, you come up on this tiny little. Drop a fellow there so I can see what it looks like. Yeah, so it's a tiny tan place. Looks kind of like the one you came from, except it's a little older than the building you came from, and it's a tannish kind of gray with a black door, and yeah,
The elder things. That's it. Sorry.
there's it's actually the end of a row of them. So like the houses are built kind of one on each other. There are walls placed where the bricks is switch, but there's not much space between them. But this is the end of one. So there's actually a gate leading to like world's narrowest alleyway between two buildings right next to it. So what your Grotom tries to pull you through the gate, and like Grotom gets through just fine because it does that uncomfortable thing where
That
it kind
jelly
of
thing.
around the bars, yeah. But your hand doesn't do that when he tries to pull you through.
Oh, Grotan, heal for a sec.
Comes back through the bars, doing the uncomfortable thing again.
I
It's a gate,
imagine
right?
he opens his body mouth to bark, but it just comes out.
Yeah, like
But an excited,
Like a
happy
parrot.
scream.
Like a parrot.
How are these doors locked? How are these gates locked?
Padlock.
Okay, can I just then roll,
That's my buddy.
I guess, sneaky covert ops to open the padlock?
Sure. Make sure nobody knows you're doing it.
I don't really care if anyone notices if I'm doing it. I just assume opening a lock would be sneaky.
No, it's how you because you can open a lock flashily too, like Cooter did in that one shot where he opened the lock with a shotgun. So like, you do not have
Not
to do
be a
this sneakily.
shotgun.
But if
That's
you do it
forceful.
sneakily, nobody else will notice you doing this sneakily.
I got a 10.
That's it. That's good enough. The lock pops open in your hand, and you just kind of slip it and pop it into your pocket, and you push the gate open.
Anyone want a padlock?
Grotan kind of puts his front paws up on your knee and goes, but with like a tentacle instead of a tongue.
You can have the padlock if you give me back my phone.
I don't think he can give you back your phone now.
We'll fix it later. Don't worry.
there like an
Fine,
eye
go
on
time.
his
Here you
tongue?
go.
There's probably an eye on his tongue.
Okay. Fine, I give Grotum the padlock.
The eye on the tongue opens up into a mouth that grabs it.
Neat.
Mwah. Who's a good boy?
Fun.
Who's a good boy? Who is
And this kind of thing
engineered
kind
by
of tracks inside the dog-ish.
Who is engineered by the great the elder things? Who's a good elder things clone? Who's a good boy?
That's not a nice thing to call your grandparents.
All right, and what order are you going down? Because you can only go one at a time.
Well, Ned, you've already died before, so you should go first.
Yeah, I'll be front man, point guy.
Okay, I guess I'll be trailing behind him with Grotan because Grotan really wants to get to the monster. What he wants to do after that remains to be seen.
Basta,
Well, have
do
you gotten him
cover
fixed?
Do you want to cover the rear, or do you want to be in the middle?
Anything useful in combat that I can do will take a while to set up, so I should probably cover the rear.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, you guys slide down the alleyway, and Ned, because you're in front, you see it first. It's dark in the alleyway-ish kind of thing. I mean, it's a city, so there's lights everywhere, but there's not lights here. So it's darker by comparison, but it's
I
still
turn
not
on the flashlight on the phone Artie gave me.
Huh?
I turn on the flashlight on the phone Artie gave me.
Oh, you're in the.
You're holding it up like this to have it over everybody's head, and the light falls on a dude. Well, it looks like a dude anyway, but the patch, like,
Dude adjacent.
dude adjacent.
Who's
This
Jason?
is about 6.5 feet tall. Shaved head, or at least no hair that you can see, and wearing a shirt and pants, no shoes, and the shirt is short sleeved, so you can see the stitch marks up the arms, and there's also
Oh, I
stitch
dated a girl like that once.
stuff. Like, it's not obvious. These are pretty decent stitches. Like, whoever did this was obviously very good at doing stitches, but like the two different skin tones are kind of a dead giveaway.
I mean, it's New Orleans. That's not that uncommon.
True. However, it is kind of uncommon for it to be, in razor straight lines.
Tan job gone wrong?
Not wearing any beads.
No beads. What?
No beads. No beads, no colors. The shirt and pants are both kind of beige, grayish.
So who wants to check its pulse?
Well, I think
As soon as you say that, as soon as you open your mouth, its head snaps over to you. The eyes are completely colorless, and the sound that comes out of its mouth might have been words if it had a tongue. But
I'm sorry, I don't speak French.
it
Design
attacks.
flaw.
We are now in combat.
Oh no, Ned's in front!
Ned's in front.
Spotted eagle strike!
You know it.
Are we still in like the alleyway, or is it like opened up a little bit?
Most of you are still in the alleyway. The thing was at the end of the alleyway, so it's actually trying to come at you. So there's like, nope, you can't get past each other. There's one person's width of space here. You are shoulder to shoulder with the buildings.
It is that awkward line to the bathroom kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it attacks, so it actually gets the first attack. So we will
Can
combat
I
is
cleverly create an advantage?
on your turn.
Okay.
On your turn. This will go popcorn style. The monster will probably pick Ned to go next because it's attacking it. Worth noting that you can choose anyone who has not already gone to go next. But if you do not choose them, in this round the monster's going to go first. So it doesn't matter. But if by the end of the round you haven't chosen the DM side, the DM can choose themselves to go again at the top of the round. Putting that out there.
Oh, is that how that works?
yeah.
Those bad
Like-
guys go last, bad guys go twice.
Right, yeah. I mean, the bad
Good guys
guys
go
could
last, good
possibly
guys can
choose
go
some
twice.
other bad guys to go before them, but if the DM can choose the person at the end of the round has their pick of everyone involved in the combat to do stuff, so they can pick themselves to go again if they so choose. So like it's twice in a row. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
So if I go at the back of the round, I go at the top of the round.
Mhm.
That's how that works. That's why it's going twice. It's not technically taking a second. Anyway, so the Patchwork Man will definitely attack Ned with D8 and a D8 and a D and some demon dice because I can. I don't have no D8. I'm gonna have to roll D8 twice. I'm gonna tap Patchwork Man. There we go. Well, that rolled like shit. So, okay. Ned, defend against a 14.
Okay, so
So build a dice pool with an approach and a discipline to defend. And
all right, I'm just trying to think how to construct this. Would just like tanking the hit be like combat and tactics and forceful, or would that?
Yes, that would
Okay.
definitely
Yeah.
work.
Okay.
it would allow you to take the hit in a way that doesn't really damage you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm going to. Do I need to invoke a? Do I need to? I want to use my discipline. Can't kill what's already dead.
Okay, for that you would spend a faith dice.
Right.
Okay.
You would
Yeah.
add a faith dice to your pool. By invoking that aspect, you can use one of your own or one from the pool.
Yes,
if you so choose.
we have a whole bunch in the pool.
I
Do
will
we
take
have-
one from the pool.
Does the system have a defending with style rule?
Not usually.
Okay.
I mean, if you do something particularly good, like, I defend myself by creating a smoke screen and I succeed with style, you might have a boost smoke screen.
Right.
But for just, being thick as shit,
I don't know.
So you
maybe
need
he'll hit the
narrative, but
plastic
you also-
beads that
but-
melted.
But you also, of course, need to exceed the attacker's value by like 5.
You can
What was
also,
the
you need to defend against a 14.
14? Okay.
You need to make at least 14 to not take any damage.
Is a 10.
No,
so-
taking
Roll
damage.
demon dice.
Also, I should have said that. I don't know if I said this clearly earlier. You can spend more than one faith die, or rather, you can activate multiple aspects
Yes.
in a roll, but you can only spend one faith dice for each.
Okay,
aspect.
I think cannon fodder might also be
Yeah, but you've
relevant
already
here.
rolled though.
Oh,
Sorry, bro. I should have said.
Unless you have a really low high die that you want to re-roll.
not especially.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you take 4. The difference between my attack and your defense was 4, so you take 1 minor condition.
Okay.
Or one mild condition.
Mild, yes. Mild condition. If the difference had been greater than 5, it would be moderate. If the difference is greater than 15, it would be serious.
And what do we want to call this mild condition?
Slugged.
Slugged. So there is basically a d6 on slugged that the GM can now use against you.
Okay.
All right,
Thanks.
and the since I attacked you, you will go next, Ned. It's your turn.
Let's see. Ned will try to use the momentum of getting walloped and turn it back around on him for a spotted eagle strike. So I guess trying to spin around or something. I'm not exactly sure how that would work.
Strike like the cobra strikes the chimney. What?
I don't know that I've ever seen that. The Never Dead Ned sketch. Oh well.
Well, no, that's in the game trailer.
It's
Take my
It's been a while since I've
flashy,
seen it.
I watched
flashy
it.
combat and tactics.
Oh yeah, do it.
And then do I get the +2 for spotted eagle strike
Yes.
because
Yeah.
I'm doing okay.
You can also add faith dice if you want.
Yes, you can add faith dice here.
And you can add, you could add both cannon fodder and can't kill what's already dead.
You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm
So
gonna go
that's
for it.
2 faith dice, because we have, a pool of 12 right now, so smoke them if you got them or don't.
Yeah. If only Turbo Dork wasn't a trouble.
You can invoke trouble.
Can you?
Yeah.
I guess-
You can, but I would not say that Turbo Dork would help you in this instance.
That's the issue. Trouble. The deal with trouble is you are supposed to pick a trouble that is an aspect of vision that's going to get in your way more than it doesn't. Otherwise, mechanically, it works the same as any other aspect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've been-
Like, issues with authority is a trouble, but you can use it to invoke it to ignore the cops, you know.
Is a 12.
Alright, I will roll to defend. Holy shit, okay. I just rolled double ones.
Hoot. The inverse evil eye dice effect strikes again!
Hell. Okay, so you do a moderate wound to this guy. So your
Ooh.
spotted eagle strike is yeah, you managed to get your fingers into one of the incisions that have been stitched up. You get your fingers in there, and
Slightly
it tries to shove you away, but in doing so, you catch, and you end up yanking a bit of it apart.
So the most important question is:
Yeah,
Are
I'm
you both?
describing.
Are the two of you still blocking the door?
Yes, they are still blocking the end of this.
So we'll say that's a moderate. Well, what are we calling this moderate condition? Slightly unraveled?
Disarmed.
Disarmed?
Pull the-
Yes, it's
Pulled apart
disarmed.
the themes.
He is disarmed.
Seamless delivery. There you go.
Alright. Okay, so, Ned, you decide who goes next.
Wait, just to check really quickly, how many stitches does this guy have left?
Oh, he's from what you can tell from the various different. Sometimes it's hard to tell because these were pretty decently done stitches, but this guy is stitched up and down pretty much every visible inch of skin.
Okay.
It's there's no patch of skin that you can see is bigger than say that is unstitched. So this is
Okay.
pretty patchwork.
Okay, no, I got it.
Mad science, man. Okay.
Uh,
Ned, who goes next?
Vasily,
Is it
Okay.
after me.
Can I use multiple stunts in one turn?
No.
Uh,
Not
it
usually.
depends on how. It depends on how. It depends on how they stack. What were you thinking of doing?
So what I was thinking was basically to do something. Well, because I guess this might count as. So what I had planned to do was to do something to set up to basically like create an advantage, which is what my actual move would be, and I don't know if I can do that in one turn.
No, creating an advantage isn't of itself an action. So
Yeah. So that would
Okay.
be your action.
Yeah.
Which you can still do.
yeah,
Yep.
you can the four actions you can the three. Okay, there are 3 actions you can take during your turn that count for your action. The fourth one is defend, and you can do it at any point anyone's attacking you. It's a reactionary kind of thing. So the first is attack, the second is create an advantage, and the third is overcome an obstacle.
Yes.
So like a scene aspect in this case would be narrow alleyway.
I will suggest
That is an obstacle you can
sometimes
possibly overcome. Huh?
My understanding is that, or at least the way I would tend to run it, is sometimes overcome is an action, and sometimes it is part of an action. It depends a lot on what the if you're saying I'm attacking and the problem is that there's a wall in the way of my attack, you know, and what you're trying to do is jump over the wall and attack. That's an overcome as part of your action. If there's a wall in the way and you're trying to get out of the way so there's no wall anymore and everybody can attack without the wall in the way, that's an action.
Yes.
Okay. So how about I say what I was thinking about doing, and then you tell me if I could do that in one turn or not.
Okay. Lay it on me.
So what my plan was, I was going to use my stunt that makes it so that once per session I can convince someone who isn't actively working against me to do something for me. And then I was going to basically use that plus one of my aspects to have Grodum basically attack the guy, and I would use my aspect to figure out what the most important stitches were, because I have an aspect called blind spot detector, which is specifically for finding these kinds of weaknesses. Basically, like for finding weaknesses in like security layouts and like people's actions. And I basically use that to tell Grodum basically try and get into there.
So I would accept you using Grodum as part of creating an advantage that is knowing where the most important stitches are. Using your stunt or whatever and doing that and all that. But you can't sick Grodum on them afterwards. You can just create the advantage, aim here or whatever, like glowing weak spot. Something like that.
However,
Okay, then
Kathy can sick Grodum on it.
Okay.
Or can
okay,
also
so then,
sick Grodum on it with a +2 for the minion control.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so then I won't use my stunt for that because then I won't need it. But I'll use one of the faith dice from the pool.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll use that plus blind spot detector, and then so this would be, I guess, a clever approach, and I want to say this would also count as covert ops because this is something that I would have as part of a covert ops skill set, but I don't know if you'd let that fly.
Well, are you building the advantage?
Yeah, I'm building the advantage of like figuring out where the most important stitch is.
Yeah, that makes sense. What are you using the faith dice to invoke? Which
Blind spot detector.
my aspect blind spot detector.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I get it.
It makes sense. For
Okay, so clever covert ops plus 1 faith dice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 15.
Okay, that's success with style. So you create an aspect with 2 free invokes on it. Actually, I think it's 3 free invokes. Let's call it aim for that. And as the thing is trying to shake Ned off from where he's kind of gotten himself was trying to shake him off when he got himself stuck with his flying eagle strike. Stuck in there. The shirt, which was a button up, kind of flaps open a bit, and you see there's a spot underneath the ribs, basically, that has a it's not a suction cap, but it's like a socket. That's what I'm gonna say. That's what I'm gonna say. It's like a socket.
It's a plug.
It's got some wires trailing from it. And there's a radial web of stitches coming out from it.
Okay, how many invokes does Aim for that have on it, did you say? 3? Okay.
Oof.
That's nice.
Okay, so then, since it's like a tech thing, then, because I know originally we said that I'd have Kathy go after me, because she can just sick the Shoggoth on it. But if there's a tech thing, then I guess I should pass it on to Artie, because maybe he can see if there's something smarter and faster to do with that.
Meanwhile, Artie is like, God, shut. Quick, get out of here, get your longsword out and smite. Kathy, you can definitely hear the knight going, avast, foul recreant. Recreants, pardon me. Recreants, actually, probably be
plan.
revenant, foul revenant. Go back to the pit from whence I came.
Sure. Artie reaches up with his phone, and squeeze with his phone and squeezes it, and two extensible poles spring out of either side of it, as it grips the other side, so you can use it as a launching pad, to get past Ned from in front of him, at the creature.
You're gonna pole vault over Ned?
Yeah, why not?
And Kathy, but yes.
Kathy's small, we'll be fine.
Do it.
That's my
Do
overcome, by
it.
the way.
I need to do this.
God damn it. Am I not a mod on my own account? We have a bot.
I've got it.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, how do you want to run this? Because I'm basically doing a pole vaulting attack on this thing. But obviously the hardest part in some ways is the actual pole vault. You want to just make it 2 separate rolls or what?
Sorry, say it again. I was banning somebody.
You want to? So how do we want to run this? I'm making a pole vaulting attack over this thing that is clearly an overcome, but my main action is still the attack. So should I just make it as 2 separate rolls, once against the overcome, and if that fails, then I'm done. And then for the attack, if that succeeds, or what? Or do you want it to have to be a secondary difficulty on the main thing? And if I don't clear that, then I clearly haven't overcome.
Secondary difficulty. Just
Okay.
roll. And I'll subtract
sure.
it from the attack roll.
So there I'm doing a clever, it's clever combat and tactics. It clearly is. And I'm gonna say that
You have like 12 base dice in the pool you can use.
I do. This is why I'm and so I'm gonna say that as I release it, it will then my cell phone will then configure into a baton to give me the advantage, because this is my device. So it is a clever attack with medieval arms and armor. So that's going to be 2d10
On the floor, apparently.
plus the 2 free invokes. Actually, I can only use one of those free invokes. Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Plus one free invoke on the cell phone, plus my +2, and sure, I will spend my personal faith die, and one of the ones out of the pool for Knight Possessed SCA Geek and Hacker with extra hacking.
I will also say that the Sutured Man also has the moderate condition pulled seam. Ned kind of split him up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Well, no, I thought it was Ned declared it as disarmed.
Right.
Right. And I think there were also, how many free invokes are there on the weak spot?
2. Oh, 3.
Okay. Sure.
Or no, the invokes on Aim for that is 3.
The aim for that is
I'm
3.
spending. Okay, so I'm doing 1 invoke on myself. Let's call it 2 invokes on myself, because use it or lose it anyway. One invoke on my device. One invoke from the from aim for that, and one invoke from the thing. So that's 66, 5d6 plus my 2d10.
Do this.
Oh,
Finish him.
at least
This is
something for Kathy.
what
Let's see how
Demon
it rolls.
Hunters is for.
So there is a 1 on one of my faith dice, so I'll hold on to that. I'll just hold on to the personal and onto the onto my personal faith die.
Uh-huh.
6, 12, 18, 28.
28 from 5d6.
Plus
Oh,
2d10.
Plus 2d10. Oh, it's sorry, 30. Plus 2.
Okay, yeah. Even with the minus 10 you get from pole holding over 2 people.
Yep.
That is. Oh god, he's got to roll defense. Hang on. Because he does get a defense. 10. Okay, that is one more moderate condition on him.
Okay.
So he's looking pretty rough. You know, you're like, shut up! So to somebody nobody else can see, you squeeze your phone, and suddenly it becomes a pole bowling device. You jam it in the ground and basically heave yourself over the heads of Kathy and of Ned, only just clearing Ned's LaCroix crown. And you land, and like, while you're in midair, like very cinematic fashion, you bring the pole up again, you hit it, and that collapses into only like a nightstick kind of baton, and you just flip it over, and you land, you know, kind of like this on the guy, and like you don't quite cave his skull in, but like there's a big dent in it now, and he's kind of staggering. You know, and what's coming out isn't blood.
It's not blood.
It's not blood. It's that yellowish stuff.
And Kathy obviously goes next because she's the last one.
What's the new moderate condition on him?
Pwned.
Big dent in it.
Dented.
Domed out.
Alright. So...
Indomitable. No, just kidding. Alright, Kathy.
Okay. So yeah, trying to get to the monster is difficult for me and my regular Euclidean meat sack. But luckily we have an attack Shoggoth. Well, we have a dog-shaped Shoggoth.
You do?
I imagine that's just a Zygarde 10% form.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds awesome.
It's a Pokemon thing.
Not quite.
Okay.
I put a picture in the Discord of it.
Okay.
Except black instead of white.
So yeah, I'm gonna...
It's a Doggoth.
The Doggoth! Dog, I'm writing that down. Grotam the Doggoth. Clearly shops at Hot Topic. Alright. So I'm going to Clever Mystic Arts. Can I Clever Mystic Arts command the Doggoth?
Yes.
Okay, then
because your whole stick is commanding mini Shoggoths.
Yes. So I will spend one of my faith dice for my concept, Accidental Cancer of Cthulhu. And then another faith dice for emotional support mini Shoggoths. And then I will use another from aim for that. And another d6 for the dented, on the moderate condition dented on the monster. And that will be Clever Mystic Arts.
There is still one for you left on Unseemly as well. Or the other moderate condition.
Okay, there were two on that? Okay.
Yeah, moderates get 2, minors get 1.
Oh,
Milds get 1.
I am tired
it's-
today. Okay.
It stacks up. Severes get 3. That's yeah.
Okay. Well, I won't say no. Okay, so...
At least that's how Dom's been running it, so I'm like, yeah, that'll work.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I am rolling 7 dice. And I will get a +2 because I am commanding my tentacly minions as, Kathy starts singing in a language none of you can interpret as a language because Reliant, as she asks for Dread, Dear Dread Cthulhu, let me unravel this plot.
Hey there, Cthulhu.
Hey there, Cthulhu, down there in your sunken city, you're 1,000 light years something. Yep.
And
Okay,
what you do to me.
Oh, it's what you do to me. Oh, from Rayleigh by the sea. I swear I know. I was just listening to the song today. Okay, so that's 10, 20, 30, 38.
You rolled a 7? So, Grover, what happens is okay, Grotom, you're like, okay, get him. And Grotom's like, what? And Grotom runs forward, going around Ned's legs in that really unsettling way they did the gate.
Blah!
And then he jumps towards, both paws outstretched towards the guy, who tries to, slap him down before he can get there, but, he just does that thing with Liquid does when you try and hit it and just blows around it, and hits the guy in the chest, and kind of, like, splatters, and goes away. You can't really see what's happening, but, it's doing...
But I can hear what's happening.
You can hear what's happening. It's and the guy just kind of shakes a little bit, and then suddenly every stitch in the guy comes undone, and he falls in chunks to the pavement. Because what Grover did was search for all the ways through.
Yay! Like with the window.
Like with the window, and he cut all the stitches in this guy's torso. And pulling them together, and now you have a pound of mince that stinks. Like, oh god, this smells like formaldehyde and battery acid, and it doesn't make it rotting meat because of formaldehyde, but oh, this is not a good smell. Fortunately, you did it down the alleyway, and you didn't use any firearms. Nobody called the cops. So,
That's a surprisingly covert operation for 4 demon hunters.
Yep, you all kind of shuffle awkwardly backwards.
One of whom is Ned.
Someone may need to call a doctor for these sick moves.
Or a necromancer in your case.
So yeah, you all managed to shuffle. Nobody really wants to step on it. And Grover's just very sitting on the other side, looking all pleased with itself. Its tail is kind of wagging. You still have a leash in hand. Tail's going mad because it's supposed to be a dog. You all managed to shuffle awkwardly back out of the alley, and you don't get the lock back from Grover, so you just kind of shut the gates.
Just close the gate on the murder scene.
I said someone to clean it up, but
I
Just
actually
throw a tarp over it.
I take some cell phone pics and send it. I send it to our dispatch, but I also send it to just the cleanup crew.
Cleanup crew's like, yep, got it.
We contained it to this one alleyway.
Is there any obvious brain or anything that might that
Like
might
a motherboard, yeah.
preservation?
No, it seems like this was mostly meatware. There's a couple
Meatware.
of electrical sockets that you can see. Like there was the one that was the obvious weak spot, but there were like 2 or 3 others that, if you had to guess, would probably have been connected to that thing above the table. But this seems to be mostly meatware. Like the tech in it is extremely low tech. But then you remember that these are the same scientists that held all their files in fucking paper in boxes down the hallway.
And had a frickin' key lock on their front door. Like, who does that?
And had one computer.
One computer with Windows 98 on it. in the office. It was used maybe once in a blue moon.
Well, now that the murders have stopped, I guess we can split
We are
up.
kind of just assuming this thing was the murderer.
As you're walking down the street, like it's not even 5 minutes later, and like someone bumps against your shoulder, and you look, and like they're in a janitorial outfit which makes them invisible, but like you're like yep, and you see cleanup crew on their back. Like these guys have responded faster than the cops ever would have.
Well, that's why we didn't call the cops.
Totally. But you eventually, you emails keep getting out of office responses. You actually end up calling HQ about it, and they're like, "Yeah, we got the invoice from the cleanup crew already. Apparently, they were not very impressed with any of that. We'll send one more unit out to the lab to take care of that as well." But
Okay, we I guess we'll continue investigating the missing Omegas.
yes, please, if you will.
So
Absolutely, we can do so by
Also,
by
the
engaging
strangulings, since
by
we still
engaging in Mardi
don't
Gras.
actually have any reason to think that thing was doing them.
So you're in town for another couple of days.
are there any more murders while we're in town?
There are not. At least from here by the grapevine. But you do eventually find the missing Omega team in lockup, pulled in by the cops for open carry.
Told you.
Open carry is okay, fine.
An open carrying open alcoholic beverage. I believe
Yeah,
is
and
actually
people do that in New Orleans all the time. I was there.
Maybe they were just really fucking obnoxious.
Yeah, probably.
But
Okay. And I just like fold my arms, and I'm just like, no.
yeah, they were basically pulled in for public intoxication or something like that, and it's just. But yeah, you don't get you do get your phone call does net you a hotel room, and they're like just stay there until you find the Omega team.
Mhm.
And the account is open ended, so like if you wanted to stay for the rest of Mardi Gras, you could.
Okay, really quick, before I forget and before the session ends, can I use my charming stunt to ask Grodum to give me back Rodum?
Oh yeah, we could.
Sure,
I'd do
yeah.
that once. Yeah.
You get back Rodum back into its phone form.
And I get my
Now
little
occasionally when you praise it for doing well, it will lick your hand.
Mwah, mwah.
Like when you're holding it your phone, it's like, oh yeah, thanks. And you feel a tongue against your hand, but when you turn it over, you don't see any tongue.
Rotom
Yeah, and then
learned
I
a new
just-
trick.
Yeah, and then I just spend like 15 minutes transferring all those titty pictures I took from Artie's phone onto mine.
I can just email them to you. It's
Because
fine.
boobs.
It's Mardi Gras.
Yeah.
I don't want. If you email them to me, they'll drop in quality.
I don't know. I've been to Mardi Gras, to pre-Mardi Gras. There aren't very many boobs, but it is very nice.
Yeah, no, at least half of them are guys.
Well, I didn't take pictures of the guys.
Anyway, but yeah, no, you eventually find the Omega team in lockup, along with every other petty drunk who decided they had a problem with the NOPD, and who probably won't get out of lockup until after Mardi Gras because too busy.
Yeah, I'll alert the Brotherhood of where the Omegas are and let them deal with it. Because while everyone else is out Mardi Gras-ing, I'm gonna actually go back into their research lab and figure out what the fuck were you people doing? Which means files and dust and
files, lots of dust.
Windows
No,
95.
I would definitely do that too, because my whole thing is I'm like trying to research into whatever the organization is doing as much as I can.
Yeah.
So your investigations reveal that this particular location was trying to, on paper, they were attempting to revivify dead and preserved organs for use in live people. So to try and do that kind of thing, because losing especially limb grafts in the Brotherhood, very handy. It would be very handy to have. In practice and reading between the lines, yeah, the Frankenstein's monster was always kind of what they were aiming for. They were kind of, some of the notes you find in Jackson's desk indicate that it was supposed to be something they could control. A new kind of foot soldier they could send up, especially against the undead, because it being itself undead wouldn't have as much effect, especially for vampires and that kind of thing. But yeah, so
We've got undead members like Ned and Shay, and they are very effective when they want to be. We do not have to mess around with more of this Frankenstein bullshit. But, well, that's why y'all are dead. And staying dead, unlike Ned and Shay.
Yep. Their names go up on the wall. And you have solved the mystery.
Wait. They don't deserve to go on the wall. They didn't die.
That's true. Okay, sorry.
They died bravely in battle, not... We created a monster without telling the Brotherhood first, and it killed our asses.
They go up on the warning wall that says, "Don't be like these guys."
The wall of dumbass.
The wall of shame.
The wall of shame.
Speaking of the wall, since this computer would have had like really old Brotherhood shit on it,
Yes.
Was there anything in there that might have mentioned some really old case or whatever that would talk about someone getting their name taken off the wall?
You don't see any references to that. It seems like this is not a network device, so everything on it is local and local to these guys. They didn't seem to care very much about agents who died, only that they couldn't. There were several requests for bodies of dead agents, and they were summarily and vociferously denied by the Brotherhood. In several cases, but that stopped pretty early on in the record keeping.
Has Vasily mentioned this quest of his to Kathy?
I mean, yeah, I would have basically told all of you while we were on the plane, because that's my trouble aspect.
Okay, so Kathy, sees you, kind of figures out what you're looking for, and is like, so, your friend's name was crossed off the hero wall?
Scratched off, yeah.
Are you sure, given what we've seen today, are you sure your friend isn't the one who scratched off his own name?
Well, I don't know. No one will tell me anything about why it happened, or how.
Okay. Well, just now that you've seen this, your friend might still be alive, or alive adjacent.
And I mean, if there's anybody who's going to have access to the Brotherhood records, it's Ned.
Yeah.
He's been here longer than I have.
Well, because wouldn't normally people who are just brought back from the dead, wouldn't their name be taken off, not scratched off?
Well, that's the thing, is would your friend vandalize his own wall marking?
Probably not.
That
and if
sounds
he
like
did,
a personal thing rather than a...
Yeah, but if he was alive, then that would just raise more questions of, like, well, why hasn't he told anyone?
Yeah.
But you're a PI, right? Or more or less. You'll find out.
I'm a detective, yeah.
You'll find out.
Mm.
But not this week on this episode of Demon
Oh,
Hunter
right, no, that was
Stairs.
that was a specific part of my backstory that I think I brought up at the start, is that the feelies that I have says that something that says that it's something to do with Iota.
Yep.
Which
but,
none of us are.
Yep, we haven't signed that adventure yet, so I can't tell you whether or not your friend's alive, dead, or somewhere in between.
But always embrace the possibilities.
Yes.
Woohoo! Yay! Good
So,
game!
congratulations! The answer
I had
was...
fun.
Huh?
I had fun.
Yay!
Yep. So, let's go around one more time and introduce ourselves, and then shill whatever you would like to shill. Any other streams or whatever that you would like to...
Streams, podcasts, etc. Where can we find you on the internet?
Ned, we'll start with you.
I'm Sky. You can find me on Twitter at shard_corso. That's SHARD_CORSO. And if that sounds rehearsed, it's because I co-host a podcast called Interesting Choices. Interesting Choices, where we talk about movies, TV shows, whatever. It's basically just like 45 minutes where we gush about neat things people haven't really heard about. And you can find that on Spreaker or your podcatcher of choice.
Woohoo!
All right. I believe Josh is next on the round.
So I'm Josh. You can find me as Neme or Nemex. That's MNEME, like I am in chat. At various places across the internet, including on YouTube. mostly posting other people's stuff, but depending, people's permission. Um, I'm actually taking off for this briefly. As it happens, Kathy is a filker. The One of the better filk cons, online filk cons, is happening this weekend. Any filk or anywhere, I think, is the online version. Which is happening free and online, and you can look it up if you want to hear weird geeky songs.
Some of them are about Cthulhu.
WHERE.
Yay!
All right, Vasily.
I don't do anything.
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
fine. Yay! Noob!
Kathy.
I'm been playing Kathy. I am Ms. Chrysala on most of the social medias, and pretty much if you're talking to anyone through Magic Fish Radio, you're probably talking to me. This is now pretty much all of my internet life. Yay! I GM the game we alternate with, which is Exit to Eden, which is Worlds of Darkness in space, and is rather ridiculous, but has a lot more baggage than this game. Like, you could call it lore. At this point, I would call it baggage. But yeah, so I'll be running that game next week, if you want to come back and hang out with us some more. Yay! Hi, Verbing Nouns! And yeah, so I've just linked all of our social media Discord and everything. Join our Discord and hang out with us, because we're chill. And because it's both an apocalypse and summertime, we will undoubtedly have room for guests going forward for the next couple months. So thank you.
By all means, let me know if you need a guest again. This was a lot of fun.
And I will primarily be doing that through the Discord. So
Cool.
Sky and Eli, thank you so much for gaming with us.
Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
You are both very fun to game with. You are more than welcome to come back. I would not mind having a great big pool of players for Demon Hunters to draw from every week. And just say, who wants to go into the meat grinder today?
I promise not to kill anyone who isn't already dead. And I'm Merc. I was your demon master for this evening. I control all the bad guys, which there were. I don't personally do very many things, but I'm a big fan of Zombie Orpheus Entertainment, so they're running a Kickstarter currently for Ultimate Dungeon Showdown, the card game. Zoe characters against each other, and it's pretty fun. I saw places of it last week. It's up on the channel, up on the Zombie Orpheus channel, and they stream on Mondays for the Reliables, and Wednesdays they had Void Jumpers, but it's in the last couple of episodes now, so that's spinning down. And on Thursdays I help run the game nights for them. So yeah, Zombie Orpheus Entertainment / Zombie Orpheus on Twitch. So me personally, you can't find me anywhere because I'm just, I don't do much content creation at all. Yeah. And that was our game.
Okay, I'm looking for someone to raid. Let me see.
See you later, guys.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were signing off.
Well, we are, but first I have to make sure I can raid this person, because some people don't allow raids.
Okay.
Gehenna Gaming is up. Oh,
okay,
man.
we are raiding Mermaid Royal. So,
Okay.
Chat, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will see you to distract you with some more supernatural shenanigans next week. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.